There we go. Okay, just mute. There we go. Okay, just mute. There we go. Okay, just mute. Why am I hearing it twice? I got it somewhere else, I guess. Right here. Yep.
Hi, I'm Max.
Hi.
Alrighty.
Hi, I'm Max.
Hi, I'm Steven.
I'm just a regular guy. I smoked for about 25, almost 30 years, and I couldn't quit. Finally, I was able to quit. You know how I did it? E-cig and vape technology.
Up until about 5 years ago, I was a heavy smoker. I was the friend in your group that you never thought would stop smoking. Until I found vape technology.
I ended up going to a vape shop. They got me set up with a device. They got me set up with everything that I need. I didn't know what I was tasting or doing, but it worked.
It was difficult at first, switching from smoking to vaping. There's a lot of nuances there.
My company's 𝗬𝗨. I started it with my buddy Steve. We started it because we wanted to make better flavors for people who were looking to quit. Flavors that actually reminded you of a cigarette.
I know that may sound disgusting to a lot of people, but for me, it's what helped me make that transition.
Hey, we have other flavors too, but we wanted something special, something that actually worked.
One of the biggest challenges of running a company like 𝗬𝗨 that has cigarette-flavored vape is finding and connecting with smokers.
Because at our core, we were smokers, and we knew we needed to quit. We decided to sponsor the Smoker Show. It was the best way to do it. Dimitri and Phil, they really understand this, and we know that they really understand and care about this industry.
They provide a unique perspective on this industry, from back in the beginning of how to use the basic technology and even have played a role in the evolution of vape technology moving forward.
I'd like to help you quit. Our company would like to help you quit. Feel free to use coupon code 𝗀𝗍𝗄 for 15% off on our website, 𝗀𝗨𝗏.com. Or if you don't want to, that's cool too. As long as you do something that helps you quit. That's the most important thing. Hey, thank you very much. Thanks to Dimmy and Phil and the work that they do. And thank you to everybody at the Smoker Show. Good luck.
Thank you again to Dimitri and Phil for starting the Smoker Show, and we're here to support you and are very proud sponsors.
Really, really appreciate the sponsorship from the guys, and we are very, very proud to have them on board. And with that, oop, I hit the wrong button again. Once again, I hit the wrong button. But that's okay. We'll get it. We'll get it eventually, brother. Don't worry. It's all good. I'm working on it.
Try again.
All right. And why do I have a picture of the show in your, where it's supposed to be the picture of your beautiful face, sir? Is there some reason that you're doing that? You're muted.
Well, why is it that you're completely frozen and I don't have video feed from you right now? Why is that?
I gotta fix that too. Yeah,
my
bad. I'll fix it right now. I'll fix it.
There we go.
I'm sorry. I do apologize. There you go. Now you can see my beautiful face.
Okay, there you are. There you are. Let me, before we get going here tonight, I just want to ask you just a couple really quick questions. Okay. Number one, are you going to be around for the entire show tonight?
I promise you I will. Yes.
Okay. And number two, are you going to be around for maybe a couple shows in the future?
I can't promise you that, and you can't even promise that yourself on this one. But listen,
but I just want to understand, you will be here for the entire show tonight. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And listen, I am glad to be back. Take a break. I'm gonna be talking for the next 2 hours. So listen.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
That's fine.
Okay. Bill Tarling signing out. Go ahead. Take it away.
That's why you want to do the show with Bill, because you get to talk a little bit more. That's why, right?
I get to talk. I get to talk with Bill.
Let me see.
It is very, very good to have you back.
All right. Phone. By the way, the phone lines are working. And listen, I'm a little bit rusty on the buttons down here, but
hang on a second. You just said the phone lines are working. We haven't gone to the phone lines.
I promise you that they're working. They're working. And
so far we had an issue starting the stream, right?
Yeah, not really. I mean,
we had a little. You pushed the wrong button on the second video.
That I did. It started, but what happened is I had it on this screen, because I haven't been here in like a month. And the video started playing on this screen, and I'm only capturing this screen, so I had to move it on this screen and then just put it back on that screen.
Right, and then what else? There was
nothing.
Something else there.
Everything's good. The audio is good. People are here.
The video was frozen when we started. I couldn't see you. I couldn't see you. Right.
Yes, it's just too much. It's just too much. Hopefully when Skechers gives us the sponsorship money for the show, we can get a technical producer. I don't have to worry about this. I just have to look
of all the companies out there, Skechers should be paying for this show.
But listen, I am glad to be back. I know I've been absent for a couple of episodes. I do appreciate Bill Tarling for stepping in, making sure we can get some episodes out, because the Smoker Show is really dear to mine and Phil's heart. So I do appreciate Bill. Thank you very much for doing that. But I was not on vacation. The 1 week that I missed, I was down in Miami attending a very, very serious conference with legal minds as we're progressing here in the next regulatory framework of the FDA and what is happening. And then last week, the last episode, I was in Greece on business, and I worked really, really hard. But I did miss all of you. I do love the Smoker Show. I do love the vapers that come and hang out and help out. I do love the vendors like Max from Lunar Rover. They're in the chat every episode. I do appreciate that. They're answering questions to the folks. I do love the smokers that come in and watch our show. I do love the dual users that come and watch our show, the pod users. You all are very, very special to me, and I did miss you, and I'm glad to be back. But most of all, who I missed is you, Phil. I really, really missed you. So I'm glad I'm back, and we're back together.
I'm happy to have you back too. There seem to be a lot of people that miss the Dimitri Phil banter that we have, and it's good to have you, buddy.
So how are you doing, Phil? How's your week been?
I'm good. You know what? I'm really excited because I tried something different yesterday. I did a video from the boat. And it was like 1 part vlog, 1 part me just kind of driving around, sharing some of my thoughts. I'm also thinking about doing liquid reviews again. If you like, and I think I'm gonna look there.
Yeah,
How cool!
Just playing a little bit while you're talking over it. Go ahead.
Oh! Somebody said that my audio is a little bit lower than yours. Can you pop me up?
Don't listen to that. They're just being mean. Go ahead. Go ahead. I got you fixed now.
So yeah, I mean, I was the thing that I like about this were all the comments that I got, because they were all positive. I tell you what, I thank God every day that I have the subscribers and the little community that I've built up.
Yeah.
Everybody they're so fantastic. For the most part, they're really, really kind of adult. The comments are good on my YouTube channel.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, yep. But I think they know that it's a pretty drama-free place. I think they know that I'm pretty fair and unbiased with everything that I do and I look at. And I'm just so appreciative for the viewers and the comments and the people who watch. You know how I hate to call anybody a fan. I hate fans. I don't want fans. But I consider all of you guys friends out there.
I'm your number one fan, Phil. Did you know that?
Oh, thanks, brother. You're my number one friend.
Oh, so sweet. But yeah, I really enjoyed the video, and I hope you do start doing some juice reviews and all that. Was a lot of fun. And
Well, what I want to do with the juice reviews is I think that's something that's lacking. I mean, there's a reason behind the things that I do and why I do them, right? And I want to look at liquids that are free base, not salt, right? I want to look at liquids that anywhere from 100% PG up to, we'll say, maybe 60 or about 30% PG, you know, that's 70% VG.
Yeah.
But most important is liquids that come in high nicotine strengths. And what I said was a bare minimum of 12 milligram. And that's going to do two things, right? That's going to help me out because maybe I can discover still some liquids out there that I would enjoy. But that's to help the people who watch the video as well, who do vape the way I do, who are not fans of either salt nicotine or super high VG or very, very low nicotine strengths. And nicotine strengths is something that we're going to talk about on the show tonight. But so maybe that can help me out. Maybe that can help some other people out too. There's always a reason behind some of the things that I do.
I think, if you look back at the times that we started doing these videos in 2011 and 2012, we had a lot of fun with them. You did a lot of stuff like that. And then life got in the way and the chase for the videos and the pressure and all that. And then our own stuff. And we kind of got away with not that we don't want to. We got millions of ideas for funny videos or laid back videos. It's just we never have time to do them. So it was nice. It's just a nice change of pace. And you don't adhere to. I don't want anyone to offend any other reviewer or people that are listening to the show, but you don't adhere to a schedule. Like you're not going to say I'm going to put this video up like other people. You see a slew of product that comes out. The same product gets hit by 10 videos. It's just a marketing thing, and it's cool. But you don't adhere by that, which is totally fine by me.
Not only is it a marketing thing, and I don't know how well known this is out there, but a lot of the reviewers are under the umbrella of like one guy, right? And that one guy kind of schedules everything.
Yeah. And whenever they say to put the videos out, and I say that's totally fine.
I'm not a fan.
I know you couldn't do that, but but it's nice to see back a little bit some of that pureness, some of that the 𝗃𝗽𝗏𝗪 that we all came to grow and love. And I think that a lot of people in this community are missing that. And I think a lot of the new people that are coming into this community are missing that as well, too, because I think that is what helped. I think when somebody can relate to that reviewer just in real life, and I'm talking about smokers, I think it just helps them through that journey a little bit more than just saying, okay, boom, 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 we're going to look at this video as a product. This is what it is. This is how you feel it. This is how you do it. This is what it does. Boom, take it and vape it, And we need to have that personal connection with a smoker because let's face it, we've kicked smokers out from the community. We've eliminated smokers from coming in. So let me just shift because you did bring up higher nicotine. I was going to do this towards the end of the show, but so let's go ahead and just knock it out now.
Already? You're going to throw everything off?
Higher nicotine is making a comeback.
Wait. Can we say hello to Pam first?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You want to do that? Yeah.
Yeah. If I push this button, I think there. Look, there's Pam and her crew. Pam, what she's doing is she is having she has smoker show parties where fantastic. She invites her friends over who vape, and she invites, more importantly, her friends over that smoke, and she introduces them to vaping. And we see, Pam, we don't know anybody's names. We got to learn your names so that we can say hello to everybody here on this screen. But I sent Pam a really nice care package with a whole bunch of goodies for her and for her friends, but more importantly, for the smokers that she's inviting, maybe get some more people vaping instead of smoking. Unfortunately, Pam is in Canada. Okay, so I couldn't send them any e-liquids, which I really wanted to. I mean, I wanted to send them a bunch of liquids, but so I did send a bunch of hardware, and I sent some T-shirts, and she wrote me, so I know she got everything. She's very, very excited. I also sent her the beep and the 𝗧light tank. She was super excited to get the beep. Yeah. That's so nice I think that's terrific, Pam.
Shout out to Pam and all of her friends that are looking. Maybe we do a live remote from Pam's house one day.
I think we should. When we're up in Canada, I absolutely think we should.
All right, so I want to get back into, by the way, the phone lines are open, 215-383-5752, brought to you kindly by the Vaping Advocate magazine. I want to address higher nicotine. I mean, we're seeing a comeback. Listen, I'm seeing a lot of MTL stuff come out of China. Now, if it's true MTL or not, that's a different story. But I'm seeing a lot of people utilize the MTL coin phrase right at this point. We're seeing a lot of kits, a lot of starter kits come out, and we're seeing yes, we have the salt, right? We have the salt nicotine, but I think that a lot of the vapors, the existing vapors, are pushing new vapors to try that higher nicotine, that 12 to 18 milligram range, which we recommend with today's equipment. So I've seen a couple of posts by Mike Cully on 𝗀𝗵𝗲 on Facebook talking about, hey, you guys need to make more 12 milligram. I really enjoy it in pod systems and setups and like that. So I want to get your thoughts. Do you think that higher nicotine is making a comeback?
Well, let's face it. It's definitely making a comeback through salt nicotine. Okay. Yeah. I don't think there's any doubt. I don't think anybody's going to argue that. But as far as standard nicotine, and I know a lot of people hate the term freebase, right? So sure. I'll just use standard nicotine. I'm still not seeing a whole lot of it. But yet every time I talk about it, I hear the same thing from people. And that's, we want more. Yeah. We need more. We want more. Yeah. And they're not getting it. But maybe now, because we're seeing the higher nicotine levels in salts, hopefully we'll see the same kind of trend happening with standard nicotines.
Phil, by the way, I saw somebody said that they have some questions, and just go ahead and put them in the chat if you're too shy to call in. And Bill will collect them for him for us and pass them on to me, and we will address them as well too. If you're just too shy to talk, don't worry. Me and Phil are very, very nice. We're just teddy bears. But in any case, one of the problems that I see is like there's so many great flavors out there that we can't enjoy, and new vapors can't enjoy. We're limiting there, and I'm seeing a lot of them go to the salt nicotine, which salt nicotine offers those more options of flavors, and it's sad. I mean, if you're a liquid maker and you're gonna go through that whole process of creating this fantastic flavor and do all this R&D and mixing and testing, and trust me, I went through this in Greece with this latest version of this tobacco caramel. That was 11 versions to get through it. Make it available on the highest nicotine. Why not? Make it at a 12. And if you're not selling it that much now, who knows? Right. Maybe 6 months, a year from now, it's gonna pick up.
Right. Or don't make 100,000 bottles of it. Make 10,000 bottles. Make 5,000 bottles of it. But at least have the product there. Dimitri, it's got to be formulated the right way too. To give you an example, there's a liquid company out there that I actually I do like them. I like the people behind them. I'm not going to mention the liquid company. Okay. But they're known for higher VG. Yeah. They just came out with a mouth to lung line, and they sent it to me. Right. Their flavors are good, but I don't think they fully understand what it means to vape mouth to lung, because they were so encrusted with sweetener that to me they were absolutely unvapable. The flavors were good, but the sensation, that coating of the mouth, and that aftertaste that it leaves, it was just, to me, unvapable.
People got to understand, especially people that mix, is that we vape at anywhere from 13 to 17, 18 watts when we're really going crazy, right? So at those wattage levels with the builds between 0.8 and 1.5 where we play, the combination, the flavoring amount, the percentage, the sweeteners and all that need to be adjusted. We're talking about a vape that comes into your mouth first. It doesn't go directly into your lung, where you're taking that flavor and then exhaling it, trying to get the flavor out. We want to get the flavor when we put it in our mouth, and it stays in our mouth before we... Am I getting you excited?
Yeah.
I saw you looking at me like I'm crazy. But it's something that I always try to explain to people. It's like you take that vapor and you put it in your mouth, and then you inhale it into your lungs. So that flavor needs to pop when it's coming off that atomizer. And it's very, very difficult because some of the new generation liquid makers that came out in 2015 or 2017, that's what the FDA regulations didn't do anything. Just came in doing 0.36 high VG. It's very, very easy to take some 𝗃𝗃𝗄 V1 and some sweetener, and boom, we throw it all in the bottle. Now we got a delicious sweet vape out there that's going to be vaped at 100 watts, but it doesn't translate the same thing. And
it doesn't. It's not like you can take, you have that winning e-liquid, and it's a high VG e-liquid, and you sell it in 0, 3, and 6. And now you want to break into the mouth to lung market. So I'm going to use that same formulation. Yeah. Right. The same flavor formulation. I'm going to put it in a 50-50, and I'm going to nick it more. It just doesn't work that way.
I just hope that a lot of the liquid makers that did things right by the book and filed a bunch of products pre-August 8th, 2016, they just have them deactivated. They might bring them out in the future. I just hope a lot of them did file 12 and 18 milligram products, because I think that it's going to make more of a comeback as we're progressing. More vape shops are closing. Listen, the MTL is the biggest DIY community. And boy, me and Phil are working on something with that. I can't tell you. It's top secret. But the DIY community, the majority of the DIY community is MTLers, because they can't find liquids. So you're missing out on a huge market share simply because they're not flashy. They're not loud. You're not going to see MTLers get on Instagram and take a little toodle puff, with their 16 watts and go like that, right? So you think that there's not a market there. But trust me, there's a huge market of people that would want those illegals. We get messages all the time.
In reality, I mean, the trend where vaping went almost created or enhanced the DIY market, right?
Yeah.
Because they weren't getting what they wanted,
Absolutely.
what they demanded, and you lost them as customers.
I totally agree.
I just recently got a post on Facebook, and the guy wanted me to talk more about DIY, and he said you should mix your own e-liquids and talk about it more.
Yeah.
Well, truth be told, I mean, I have a full DIY lab, if you will, back in Rochester.
ISO.
No.
Hold on.
It doesn't go that far.
I was going to say ISO mozzarella. That's the rating that it has. Yeah.
But I mean, I have the flavors, I have the PG, the VG, the mixing equipment, the scales, the stirs. I mean, I've got it all to do it. And I experimented and played with that. But there's a reason why that I don't talk more about DIY until it becomes absolutely necessary to talk about DIY. And that's because we still need these products available completed, finished, and ready to go and accessible to a smoker. And just to give you another example, somebody posted on my Facebook today, well, I build my own coils, and, I bought wire 3 years ago, and it's just cheaper and everybody should do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. That's, if that's working for you, if DIY is working for you, fantastic.
Great.
I'm not saying anything negative about it,
No.
right? If that's what you're doing, you continue to do it, continue to not smoke. Right. But there are people that are not going to want to DIY. There are people that are going to say, I would rather smoke than mix my own e-liquids. I would rather smoke than create my own coil. And it's important. That is why it is so important to have this stuff on the market, legal, available for everybody except underage to buy and enjoy and use so that you don't smoke anymore.
I have been vaping for years. I've never mixed my own liquid. And you're gonna say, well, you could. Listen, I'm not. God bless DIYers. I wish I could. Number one, I don't have the talent for it. Number two, I don't have the patience for it. Number three, I don't have the time for it. Number four, I just want my stuff being ready for it. What's wrong with that? Like if I'm going to a restaurant and go back in the kitchen and cook, I want my steak being cooked. And maybe that's the same way that I like to vape. There's nothing wrong with that. But I also look at people like my wife. You think my wife would ever DIY? Are you kidding me?
No, like my wife too. My wife would never DIY. My wife would never create her own coil, ever.
She would not even. If I sit to my wife and show her the Proton screen in the first 20 seconds of hitting the joystick and going through the menu, she'll throw it on my head. She said that she'll lose interest. So I think that is the. There's a demographic for it, and there's a demographic that does not want it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I hate when people say, "Well, go make your own. Don't worry about the FDA, or don't worry about this. Don't worry about the regulations. Go make your own." Well, not everybody can do it, okay? And not everybody wants to do it. So we should respect that as well too, just like we respect the DIYers.
Well, what would be fun? What would be fun if if I got some of my DIY stuff here and you got some DIY stuff and you mixed the most hideous liquid that you could think of and I did the same and then we sent it to each other and we tried it on the show. That could be fun.
I have an idea. That's a good idea. Maybe we can do a contest. I'll mix a liquid, you mix a liquid, and we'll send it to somebody else to try it, and whoever wins, will win the competition.
There's got to be some kind of prize.
Oh yeah, I'll figure something. Don't worry, I'll figure something.
We'll sell it everywhere in the U.S., but the U.S.
No. Let's sell it in the U.S. Everybody else is doing it. So, let me take a couple questions. The first question is: there a way?
Hold on a second. I think we got a super chat.
Oh, thank you, Senshiro. We appreciate it.
That's terrific. God
Thank
knows
you,
we,
Max.
we hardly. And by the way, I still don't have no idea where that money's going.
It's definitely not going in my pocket. I'll tell you that right now. I haven't seen a check from you. I haven't seen a check from you
Someday
in years.
when I'm like 80 years old, I'll find that account and be like, "There's some money in there." That'd be nice.
Sinceres from France. We certainly appreciate it. We love French vapors, and we'll be there in October for Vape Expo, and hopefully see you again, Sincero, and give you a hug. But we appreciate the super chat. All right, so another question: is there a way to increase the level of nicotine in a pre-made liquid and does it taste normal? Yes, you can get nicotine packs, or you can get your own nicotine, like 100 milligram, and cut it down. Which if you don't know what you're doing, I would highly suggest against it. The problem is sometimes, most of the time, it'll change the flavor because when you create a formulation of liquid, meaning PG, VG, the flavoring base, and then add the nicotine. That flavor is specifically calculated by percentages or weights in some case of how that flavor is going to come out. So adding nicotine or adding more PG or VG, sometimes in Greece they do that to drag it out a little bit because, the economy is bad and not a lot of people have money. But it does change the taste. Okay? So bumping it up from 6 to 8, you're probably not going to have any issue. But bumping from 6 to 18, probably it might not change drastically, but you are going to see a difference in the flavor. Phil, would you agree?
Also, don't forget too that not all nicotines, not all PGs, not all VGs, not all flavorings are created equal, right?
Yeah.
They all have their own taste, their own flavor.
Yeah.
So by adding a different kind of nicotine, you might completely change the flavor or the taste of that liquid.
Absolutely. I want to say hi to some Greek vapors that are up at this time. 𝗦𝗢𝗢 is up 3 o'clock in the morning in Greece. Thank you, 𝗦𝗢𝗢, for joining us. And 𝗃𝗽𝗲𝗿𝗀, thank you so much. Kalimera to everybody. We thank you a lot. I miss my home country so much.
Yes, Kalamata to everybody.
Not Kalamata, Kalimera. Kalamata is
Kalimera.
Got a telephone call. You want to bring it in?
Yeah, sure. Is it going to work? This is exciting.
647. You're on the air with Phil and Dewey.
How you guys doing?
We are wonderful.
I honestly appreciate your work. I'm new to vaping and picking up the MTL and like a whole vast of information out there, trying to figure out what I should be getting, what I shouldn't. I walked into one of the shops locals here, picked up myself a little kit, 50 watts, and somewhat satisfied. But looking what's out there, I'm looking to expand a little more if I should be, or I should just stick with this for a little bit more. What would you guys recommend?
Okay. First of all, what's your name? So we'll know how to address you.
Ali.
Ali. Welcome to the Smoker Show and welcome to Vaping. Thank you so much for calling in, Phil.
Ali, where are you from, my friend?
Toronto.
Toronto? Okay. And what did you buy?
Yep. I picked up in... excuse me, just a sec. 𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃.
Oh, that's a good kit. Very good kit.
It comes in with it's a nice little kit. I appreciate what it's got.
I think if you had told me that you got something else, I would point you in a different direction or maybe agree with what you got. In this case, I think you picked a great starter kit. The 𝗃𝗀, it's an easy to use little device. And it comes with a really good tank. That's going to come with the Nautilus tank, as far as if I remember.
Yeah, the Nautilus too. And then listen,
that's right.
What kind of liquid are you using, and what kind of nicotine strength?
I'm trying to quit cigarettes, and the thing what I got right now, it's just straight tobacco flavored.
Yeah.
I got it in the local shop.
Yeah.
It's got 12 mil nicotine with it.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So far, it's working well. Though I'm trying to mimic cigarette as much as possible, so I can kind of stay away from picking up that stick, right?
Yeah.
And lighting it up.
Yeah. Do you think are you missing something? Do you feel like you're missing something, or is it just a sensation or the physiological effect of the cigarette? I mean, are you missing nicotine, or do you think you feel like you're missing nicotine, or are you missing just picking it up and lighting, just being used to that habit of constantly doing it?
I'm missing nicotine, and sorry, I don't mean to move on to another subject, but I've tried this heat not burn tobacco.
Sure.
They've got out there for and it is something that kind of it got me into vaping actually, and look into that world. It's funny how that worked, and fair enough, I went and got myself a little kit.
Yeah, sure.
But,
you can do a use like that.
yeah.
Just use your heat not burn for when you want a cigarette, and then go back to vaping when you don't want a cigarette. The main thing is not to burn a cigarette. That's the main goal that you're looking here, not to light up a cigarette, right? The other thing that I can suggest you do, because the 𝗧𝗪𝗧 is a really good kit, I would suggest you get a little pod system. You know, just like a little pod, little tiny device like that, or even something that actually looks like a cigarette, like a round device or a little pod system. For example, I have here the Juno. It's just something small that will have a little bit more of a oomph, you know, kind of gives you more of that cigarette hit. So the times that you feel like you want a cigarette, just pick up something like this and just kind of puff on it and time it 4 or 5 minutes, just as long as the cigarette would take you. Put it down and then pick up your 𝗧𝗪𝗧 with your liquid and keep vaping. See, the issue that I think, Ali, that you're experiencing is that there's no start to finish, which is the physiological of a cigarette, right? The cigarette has that start to finish effect that we don't have with vaping. So by shifting devices, meaning picking up something small and vaping on it for 4 or 5 minutes, it will trick your brain into thinking, okay, now I had my cigarette, now I can pick up my 𝗧𝗪𝗧 kit with some other flavored liquid or something different. That way you can continue to vape through the day. Phil?
Sure, Dimitri. This is what I love about having you back. I don't have to say anything. I can just sit here and look cute. No, I think you hit the nail on the head. You know, if the 12 milligram isn't doing it for you, you know, you could always try an 18 if you want to go up in your standard nicotine, or like Dimitri said, you know, have that little pod, maybe have a stronger salt in there. But just have those things available for you. Make sure that they're charged, always ready to go, so that you don't, you know, fall back and go ahead and smoke. But as far as, you know, your choice for a starter kit, I think you did good. I think my compliments to the shop that you got that at.
Yeah.
Because that was,
And I would not look for anything else. I think when you start chasing the dragon, you know, you get a little bit out of hand. I think that the kit that you have is fine. What I'm going to do, Ali, if you don't mind, if you would like, is I have, thanks to our sponsor, Juno, I have a bunch of these kits over here. This one has a tobacco strength inside, and it has a couple of flavored pods. It's a little starter kit from Juno. It's really nice. So you have the device, and you have 3 different pods inside. If you want, I'd send you one of these just to kind of try it out. Maybe you can go a couple of days without having a cigarettes and see if this works for you. Then you can go to the store and find something that's similar like this to help you just stay completely away from cigarettes.
I'm into anything that would keep me away from cigarette, honestly.
Fantastic.
So I would really appreciate it to
Yeah,
try it.
yeah, absolutely. Ali,
Thank you, sir.
Bill will tell you how to get in touch with me and send me your address. I know you're in Canada, but I don't think we have a problem sending products to Canada now after the regulations there. So I'll get this in a little package to you and just send it up and try it out. Maybe in a couple of weeks you call us back and see how you're doing.
Definitely, I will. I'll let you know. Keep you updated on that.
All right, Ali. And just the main thing, just stay away from cigarettes. That's all. Whenever you want a cigarette, just try to trick your brain into doing something timed.
It's been over 15 years, and it's kind of getting to me. So that's the whole thing. Now, one more question, if I can ask.
Sure,
Is
that's
that
what we're here
possible?
for.
Do we have enough time?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Questions.
Should I be looking into DNA mods and such,
Phil?
or just hang on with the 𝗬𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧 for now?
so let me tell you, let me explain something to you. No matter how much money you spend on a device, a watt is a watt and a volt is a volt. Okay, so they all do pretty much the same thing, which means they deliver power to the coil, to your atomizer. All right. Now, different mods are going to have different features and different functions and different things that you can do. Where you are right now, I would stay for a while. Let's get you to be a successful vapor first. Let's get you off of the cigarettes completely, right? And the device that you have, especially now that Dimitri is going to send you the pod, what you have right now should be able to do that for you. Now, once you're successfully transferred and you're not smoking anymore at all, and you want to explore different things, then sure, we can start to look at different mods for you. We can start to look at stuff like, features and functions. DNA are very well known for your ability to hook them up to the computer and to e-scribe and to tinker and to tweak, and also to do temperature control. But for right now, I wouldn't be all that concerned with all of that stuff. Let's keep it easy. Let's keep it simple, and let's get you off the cigarette.
Yeah, I totally agree, Ali. I don't think that a DNA will make you quit smoking versus what you have right now. So don't think about that. What you need right now is, and there's a Troop is in the chat as well too from the Plume Room. He had the perfect advice: just vape through it. Meaning, whenever you want that cigarette, just vape through it. And then once you quit smoking, man, we can buy 100 DNAs afterwards. It's okay. But right now, with what you have, and then I'll send you the pod system, I think you're going to be okay. And I really hope that you do call back and follow up, okay?
Ali, you know what you do?
Thank you, guys.
Ali, I have a suggestion for you, okay? Set yourself a goal, okay? Set yourself a goal. And your goal, let's say your goal is to not smoke for a month, right? I'm not going to have a cigarette for a month. I'm only going to vape. If you get there, if you reach your goal, then buy yourself a toy. Then treat yourself to something new, something better, right? But get through that first. Vape, like we said, vape through it, set yourself a goal, hit that goal, and then go buy yourself something nice or something new.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ali.
I appreciate the advice. Yeah, I appreciate it. I'll definitely put it down and note it. Yeah.
Thank you so much,
good
Ali.
idea.
We wish you all the success, and we're here for you anytime that you need any help.
Thank you, guys, and much appreciate what you guys are doing.
Thank you. Get in touch with
Awesome.
Bill so I can get your information, and I get so how you're gonna reach me so I can get your address and send you the kit out.
And I tell you what, as a current and former, or as a very soon to be not smoker, stick around because we've got a really good segment in this show that I want everybody to hear.
Yeah.
Oh, well, definitely.
Thank you, Ali. Have a great idea.
Thanks, Ali.
Have a great night. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, guys.
By the way, you didn't congratulate me for the phone lines working. I just want to put that out there. You know, I was just going to put that out there because, you know, we got another telephone line. 917, you're on the air with the Italian Stallion and Dimitri.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's happening? Who's this?
This is Eddie.
Hey.
Eddie from Brooklyn.
Hey, Eddie. Eddie from Brooklyn. What's up? Hey, are you going to come and see us in New York? We're going to be in New York at the end of the month. In Brooklyn.
Oh, well, I did meet Phil at a few of the shows out in Jersey.
Oh, did you?
So
cool.
maybe I'll check it out.
All right.
Was I nice?
I've been vaping for years.
Uh-huh.
Smoked cigarettes for years. My question is, why is it so hard to get the 𝗃 light? Every time I go to order, it's out of stock, and they almost force people to go the clone route. And I don't want to go to clone
I
route.
hear you,
I've
brother.
been
That's a
down
great
that
question.
road, and it's
Let me tell you
garbage.
something.
You have to buy 17 to get one that's right. And but it's like everywhere you go, it's out of stock.
So listen, brother, let me tell you something. You know this. You've been in this, but that's a great question, especially for new people that are coming into vaping. Sometimes making availability limited is a marketing ploy. I mean, I hate to say it, but you know darn well.
They've been doing it for years.
I know, brother. I know. I hear you. Trust me. Listen, I know how this thing works.
And the high price that they charge is already a marketing ploy.
I know. I get you, brother. I get you, brother.
And I want one,
Yeah.
and it's like impossible to get.
All right, listen, I don't want to make you feel bad or anything, but
Yeah, we're both vaping on a 𝗃 right now. No, we're not trying to rub it in. Eddie. Listen, we're not trying to rub it in. But
well, first of all, know this, okay? Because you missed the first batch, okay? The second batch isn't going to have at least one of the issues that the first batch has, which was with the bad screws, okay? So at least you know you're not going to get bad screws or issues with the screws. You know, I don't know why. I think it's really sad that the company themselves, the company that's actually making the thing, can't make them as fast as China can. I mean, like it's it
Exactly.
is exactly
I mean,
what you're saying.
There's a gazillion out there in clones in China. You know what I'm saying? More than the original.
It's
You know
pushing.
what I'm
It's
saying?
pushing
And
people.
like,
It's pushing the lack of availability. Like two things create the clone market. Okay, that's a very very high price or a very very limited availability on a popular product. That really is what creates the clone market. And in a way, with the 𝗃, you're seeing both of those things, right? And I'm hearing it from a lot of people that a lot of people are just they're going and they're buying the clone. I don't support the clones. I don't. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
I'm saying,
I mean, I've never reviewed a
the
clone.
high-end route, like say for instance at kenedy mechanical mod,
yeah,
which is like a beautiful piece of machinery.
sure.
But I can call and it'll be at my doorstep in 4 days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know.
I hear you, man. Steve does a good job too. Steve does good, really, really good
not
work.
that crazy in price.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, Eddie. Well, listen, when we get done with the Smoker Show, we're going to send Flo a message and say, get some freaking 𝗃𝗲s in the United States quickly because Eddie's going to go buy a clone. How about that? We'll do that for you.
No. I've been that clone route. I forget it. I'm not going that route because, like I say, you buy 10 of them, and one may work. It may work for a while. It's slightly off. You know, when you want spare parts, they're not going to work. I forget it. Been there, done that. You know, so I'm done with that. You know, but it's just crazy how they limit these supplies, and it's like, forget it.
Yeah. Well, I know. Look, there's definitely another batch coming, so just hang tight, Eddie, and they'll be available out there.
Yep.
And thanks for the call, Eddie. We appreciate it.
Hey, Eddie.
No
Eddie.
problem. Hey, I also enjoyed the boat ride the other day.
Terrific! That's good. That's good. I'm so thankful that a lot of people like that.
In the canals of Florida.
Eddie, March 28th, March 29th, we're going to be in Brooklyn. We're staying at the William Vale. We're going to be at the Brooklyn Convention Center for the Vape event New York. If you got a chance, swing by and hang out with us, and we'll talk some more K-Fun.
No problem.
All right,
See you guys then.
Thanks, brother. Have a great night.
Right?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And you know, since this is the Smoker Show, I'm sure there's people out there who have no idea what a 𝗃𝗲 is. So, what is a 𝗃𝗲? A 𝗃𝗲 is an RTA, a rebuildable tank atomizer. Okay, so if you're familiar with a Zenith, it's kind of like a Zenith in that it houses the e-liquid. A Zenith, however, has user replaceable coils. So when the coil is bad, you unscrew the coil, put a new coil in. With the 𝗃𝗲, because this is rebuildable, when you open it up, you have there's a little build deck in there, and I can unscrew it to show you, and you have to create your own coil and wick it yourself as well. So there's a lot of benefits to rebuilding devices. Some of those benefits include a cost savings over pre-made coils. You can also build it exactly the way you like it. And some people like the hobby aspect of it. But here's a very, very dirty little 𝗃𝗲 build here that you can see.
Nice. Or they can go watch your video, and you don't have to waste all the smokers' time talking about the 𝗃𝗲. They can do that as well, too. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm not trying to waste their time, Dimitri. I'm trying to
we got so much stuff to get to on the show. By the way, I got to fill my 𝗃𝗲 up. And listen, I got this tobacco flavor. You know I don't vape tobaccos, right?
Yeah, go ahead. Promote the tobacco flavor one more time.
I'm not. I'm just going to say I'm going to bring some to New York for you to try.
All right, I'm looking forward to it.
It's a tobacco with caramel inside, and I absolutely love it. I mean, I don't like to vape it all day, but with coffee and scotch, and boy, it's banging. Actually, I'm going to fill my 𝗃𝗲 up right now. So anyway, all right. So we got another telephone call. I mean, the phone lines are just blowing up, Phil.
This is terrific. Everybody was so excited to have you back and the phone lines back. So let's do another call. Why do you make you small when we go to the caller? Why do you do that?
Because it has the telephone line on this beautiful shot that I've created. You see right down there? It has the telephone.
Look! There it is. I see it right there. Yeah. Okay.
250. You're on the air with Phil and Dimi.
Hello, 𝗃𝗧 PT.
Oh, hello.
I missed you.
Oh, did you? How much did you miss me, Bill?
I'm so glad that you're back, and congratulations on the phone line. That was the whole reason for my calling.
Thank you so much. Hey, Bill, now that I was gone for a couple of episodes, you see how hard Phil is to work with? What kind of diva he is? I mean, I'm just telling you. People don't know what I go through.
He's been calm and very patient with me and very helpful.
I don't believe that at all.
Yeah,
I don't believe that.
Time. I mean, we did 3-hour shows.
I don't believe that at all. But yeah, thanks for making him look good.
We actually got to talk for 3 hours.
Yeah, I know.
Bill, I will say this: I am going to miss our little after hours talks on sci-fi shows. I really am.
You bunch of nerds. I'm glad I wasn't in for that. I'll tell you that. But anyway, all right. Thanks, Bill. I appreciate it, man.
I'll let you get back to it.
Thanks, brother.
Good to hear you guys together again.
Care. All right, let me just take a quick break, Mr. Phil.
Thanks, Bill.
And then we're going to be right back. And that is one of our sponsors, Joytech. We certainly appreciate their sponsorship and supporting the Smoker Show. And by the way, programming note, the first ever, Phil, the first ever Smoker Show Live is going down. The first ever in Stuttgart, Germany.
Stuttgart!
May 30th, 31st, and June 1st. We're going to have a booth set up in Stuttgart, Germany. We're going to have products from all of our sponsors at that table. We're going to have German vapers that are going to come and sit at the booth and help us. And we're hoping for 250 smokers. That is the goal that we've set with 𝗬𝗏. Bring in 250 smokers to the show. Give them a kit. Give them some liquid. Match them up with an experienced vapor, and then just let them go and take a look at the show that's, probably a little bit circusy. But by that time, we're going to have them at least vaping.
And you know what? Very excited about that. Very excited about that. And I think it should be said that when we announced this and when we talked about this, Vape Jam UK got a hold of us instantly, and they wanted to do it as well.
Yeah.
Right. Unfortunately, we're going to be traveling. We're actually going back to China to work on the next batch of products. But isn't that interesting how Hall of Vape Germany wants to, use and utilize the Smoker Show and some of the things that we're doing here. Vape Jam UK wants to use and utilize the Smoker Show and some of the things that we're doing here. And the interest that we have in the Smoker Show from the U.S. shows, Dimitri?
Yeah. I mean, it's just that the market here in the vape shops, unfortunately, is just not there anymore. But that's okay. Maybe it'll turn around. We're here available if we want to do a Smoker Show anywhere here in the United States. We'd be more than happy to entertain that. It's just that the shows don't care anymore. I mean, there's no smokers going to these shows, let's face it. And I think in Europe, they fell on that as well, too, for the last couple of years. But they realized that they cannot survive just drawing existing vapors to these shows. And that's why with 𝗬𝗏, we had this discussion last year. And 𝗬𝗏 was like, absolutely, I want to do it. I just didn't know how to do it. And I said, this is the perfect opportunity. He's going to go around Stuttgart with his team, passing out free tickets to every smoker that they see in the bars, in the coffee shops, in the restaurants. Just give them a free entrance to come into the show, and we're gonna have the booth set up in the beginning. That way, they don't go inside and start seeing, clouds and girls and music and all that. We're gonna have it set up in the beginning. Set them down for 15, 20 minutes. Give them a little kit, start them vaping, and courtesy of all these guys that you see down here on the bottom of my screen. And we're really, really excited about that. So very, 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 very happy to do that.
I saw a comment over here, Dimitri. I saw a comment in the chat, and I know we have a lot to get to, but somebody was talking about Nic salts, and they say the Nic salt hits your bloodstream quicker when you use salts instead of freebase or standard nicotine e-liquids. And I still want to see a chart comparing like 50 milligram salt to 50 milligram standard, right? Because 50 milligram standard is just very difficult to vape. I mean, it's going to be the flavor is going to be really bad. It's going to be off. The throat hit is going to be redonkulous and uncomfortable. But, I noticed when I go to 12 or 18 or 24, I feel it the same way I feel the nicotine salt. So I'd still like to see a comparison on that.
I think with low wattage devices with nicotine salt that's high, you're going to get a bigger effect. That's the reason why salt nicotine was created. If you go on my Facebook, and look back about a week and a half ago, I did a live with Dr. Farsalinos from Greece. It was really great that he took the time, and we've invited him to come on the show, and we'll make it happen, I promise you. But he talked a lot about nicotine salts. Nicotine is nicotine, right? Nicotine is nicotine. 20, 30, 40, 50, nicotine is nicotine. The benzoic acid that's being added into the salt nicotine does change the formulation, but keep in mind, it's the same thing that goes into a cigarette as well, too. So the question that we should be asking is, especially with all these guys that are making salt nicotine. I'm not talking about Juul, which patented salt nicotine. I'm talking about all these other guys that jumped on the train. What kind of testing have they done? What kind of lab results they have? What kind of absorption tests they have? Let me tell you, Juul has it all. Juul has it all, and I've seen it. I saw it before the Juul was released. Okay? They've done a lot of work, and they're going to follow PMTA. You have to prove to the FDA that why your product works and how it works and what kind of formulation and how does it biomarkers of exposure to the person, urine tests. I mean, you got to do everything, and they have done it. Who else in this industry that's selling salt nicotine today has done that? And I'm going to tell you right now, nobody. Okay. So again, I'm not trying to discourage you. Don't send me hate mail. I'm tired of that. Just because I'm telling the truth, just don't give me that crap. All I'm saying is that ask that question to yourself. There's plenty of good products out there today. You heard the guy just walked in, got a 𝗬𝗪 kit, which is a fantastic kit with 12 milligram nicotine. If you want to quit, it's good. You might need to go to 18 if you're a very, very heavy smoker, but there's products out there to quit. And
Absolutely.
rant. I'm not going to get into that today.
Good job, pal. So are we going to do this segment? Are we going to get to this now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Or do you want to talk about grease first?
Well, I mean, I wanted to talk a little bit. Maybe we'll get there towards the end. Okay, let me just get to the end. All right, I do want to do this because I did a lot of work on this. I do want to thank 𝗃𝗽𝗏 from Vaping Links Blocks because he helped me a lot on this, trying to get the links. And why did I create this? And then I transformed it over to the Smoker Show. Tomorrow morning, my association here is called the Tennessee Smoke-Free Association. It's a trade organization that's been around since 2014. We have a lobby, we have a PR firm, and we fight on behalf of the vapor industry in Tennessee. Tomorrow morning, I'm going up to the Capitol here in Nashville with a bunch of wonderful industry professionals in the vapor space to talk to legislators. In fact, here's our schedule. And look how many meetings I have, Phil. From 9 until 3:15.
Yeah, I know you showed me.
Thing. But here's all of our meetings of everybody's going to meet there tomorrow. So I wanted to make a packet of information to give to the legislators, especially for this T21. This is how this kind of started, because I believe that hasty, fear-mongering decisions by legislators to change the age to 21 with no science at all, really. I mean, just because a couple of kids picked up a jewel, here we go, we're going to make a law, right? I think that we need to change the narrative. Meaning that first we have to understand what the product is, then we make legislation, right? So if we can understand that the product is less harmful, why are we raising the age? Instead, we should be lowering it, because kids start smoking at 13. That's not my data. That's the FDA's data. They say that the average age that somebody starts smoking is 13. So by the time that they're 18, they're 5 years into an addicted smoker. Now we're telling them, listen, just smoke for 3 more years with 21, and you're gonna have to switch. So that's the prelogue to the what we're going to show you now. But when I tell them that the Royal College of Physicians says this, or Dr. Farsellino says this, you know what they say? Who's Dr. Farsellino? We don't know who these people are. These are British lungs. This is this is that. So I wanted to collect data of what organizations here in the United States have said. And they have said good things about vaping. All you have to do is how to look for them. I'll explain that after we get into the segment. So this segment is called What They Say, and it's meant for Phil to see what some of the organizations here in the United States have said about vaping. Correct?
Yeah, and I think this is really good stuff to go through and to read what they're saying, because it's good stuff. I mean, it's really, really good stuff. And I think this segment is important for you guys as vapers to know. The slides that you are going to see here will be available to everybody, okay? So you want to start? Should I start?
Go ahead. It's all you.
Okay, so the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, say that e-cigarettes have the potential to benefit adult smokers who are not pregnant. Sorry, Dimitri. Used as a complete substitute for regular cigarettes and other smoked tobacco products. And there's the source right there. So we have sources, or Dimitri pulled the sources for every one of these segments here that we're going to read. And Dimitri, if you want to jump in and further explain anything that I'm saying or reading,
I'll let you finish the second one, and then we'll expand a little bit.
Okay. So the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the HHS, say that e-cigarettes present an important, potentially life-saving opportunity to help currently addicted adult smokers quit combustible cigarettes. How about that?
So these are at least a couple of groups that are against vaping. You see them publicly being against vaping, but there is something here to it, right? So they say, oh, we don't know the long-term effects. Kids are vaping. It's not good. And we all agree with that. Okay, I will tell you, I don't know the long-term effects. I know that in the 10 years that I've been vaping, I feel great. I feel amazing. Plus, I'm in a great mood. I've been in a great mood all week.
You were singing today.
Okay, so all I'm saying is that they have that information in there. You just have to look through the other stuff, because as these health groups are, their job is to fearmonger. I mean, I hate to say it. That's their job. They get pharmaceutical funding, and they have to fearmonger. So the information is there with links. You can source this. And the reason why we're playing this as well, too, is that If you're a smoker and you hear somebody tells you that vaping is bad, now you have the links to not only for yourself as a smoker, feel a bit more comfortable about trying the product, but for you, the vapors that are watching the show, grab these links. Use them in your everyday life. Use them when you're talking to legislators. Use them when you're talking to your neighbor or your mom that says, oh, that's going to give you popcorn lung. Use those and say, hey, listen, Mom, this is what the CDC said, the Center for Disease Control in the United States. That's what they said. Let's move on to the next one, the next slide.
Sure. Here we go.
Oh, hold on. Oops.
Uh-oh.
There we
What
go.
happened?
No, that's good. Here we go.
Here comes. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the HHS, this is the blog within the site. Yet, while e-cigarettes are less harmful than regular combustible tobacco products and a possible pathway to tobacco smoking cessation for adults, the evidence on the effectiveness of these products for helping adult smokers quit completely is still uncertain. Well, that's kind of a negative thing, Dimitri.
It's not really negative. Listen to how smart they are in the way that they worded it.
Okay.
All I have to see here is that what it says is e-cigarettes are less harmful than regular combustible tobacco products. That's all I want to see. Now, the evidence is me. Now that I know that's less harmful, I'm going to try it. And guess what? If I quit smoking, fantastic. I don't have to wait for them to do a longitudinal study of 20 years to see if this is going to help me quit smoking. All I want to see in that, and they do this on purpose, okay? They want to have that safety blanket as well, too. They're like, yes, they're better, but, we don't have the evidence. And to be fair, we've only had one study come out to say that this helps people quit smoking. That's an official peer-reviewed study. But to you as a smoker, this is what the important part is. You as a smoker, what you have to look at here is that the health department, the Health and Human Services Department is saying e-cigarettes are less harmful than regular combustible tobacco and a possible pathway to tobacco smoking cessation for adults. That's all you have to see. And now you try it and see if it's a pathway for you. All right, pick up the next one, Phil.
Okay. Dr. Scott Gottlieb, Food and Drug Administration, former. We believe e-cigs can provide substantial health benefits, helping currently addicted adult smokers fully transition off combustible cigarettes.
And I love that because he tweeted that, and that's something that stays there forever. And Twitter is a huge source for information. It really is. And a lot of the directors that are on there tweeted. I got into it with the Surgeon General. He muted me. The Surgeon General of the United States called me by name, said, Dimitri, I'm not going to block you, but I'm going to mute you. That's what he said.
So you're muted now? Are you officially muted?
Proudest moment ever. And he doesn't have me muted on his Surgeon General account, just on his personal account. But it's the proudest moment ever I've ever had in Twitter. But it caused a stir.
You got to him, huh?
Yeah, I got to him. But listen, this is stuff, again, this is the outgoing now FDA commissioner. He's being replaced. He quit all of a sudden. He said he wants to spend time with his family, which is complete horse crap. He's going to get a job somewhere else. But this is not a political show. But this is the FDA commissioner putting it out there that, listen, if you're going to switch to this product completely, it's going to benefit you as a smoker. And that, as a smoker, or even a vapor that's trying to promote electronic cigarettes, that's a huge tool to use. Phil.
Here we go. I can't wait to put all of these on Taste Your Juice.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that. Dr. Scott Gottlieb again, Food and Drug Administration. If you could take every adult smoker and fully switch them to e-cigarettes, that would have a substantial public health impact and a positive one too, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Dr. Scott Gottlieb again. E-cigarettes may present an important opportunity for adult smokers to transition off combustible tobacco products and into nicotine delivery products that may not have the same level of risks. You gotta fix that. It says
you gotta fix it. You're the one that made the slides.
Yeah, but it came from your data associated with them. Okay, there you go.
So once again, here we have the commissioner over and over saying the same thing. They're less harmful. So if his statement is, if you could take every adult smoker and fully switch them to e-cigarettes, that would have a substantial public health impact. Why would you deny that to 18-year-olds? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is that if he's saying that it's better, why are we raising the age to 21? It makes no sense when the kids start smoking at 13 and 14. That's it. That's all. I think it's a valid. I don't. How can anybody that it's in public health deny that? How can you deny the fact that they're better than smoking? All right.
Or try to take it away from people who are successfully using this product. It's unbelievable.
All right. We got a couple more here. Go at it, Phil.
All right. So Mitch Zeller, oh boy, the director for Center for Tobacco Products says, if we could get all of those people to completely switch all of their cigarettes for one of these non-combustible products, that would be good for public health.
I love how Mitch put that one there. It's really, really good. It's like he's tiptoeing around the issue, but you get the point, right?
Yep. The National Academies of Science, Engineering, and Medicine say that evidence suggests that while e-cigarettes are not without health risks, they are likely to be far less harmful than conventional cigarettes, that report says. They contain fewer numbers and lower levels of toxic substances that conventional cigarettes, and using e-cigarettes may help adults who smoke conventional cigarettes quit smoking. However, there's always that but.
Yep.
Their long-term health effects are not yet clear.
And that's something that we say here on the Smoker Show too. We don't lie to you. We don't tell you that this is healthy and we know what's going to happen 40, 50 years from now. No. Nobody knows until we vape for 20, 30 years. Hopefully, we'll be around 20, 30 years and see what's going to happen. But
hopefully.
Go ahead.
No, I said hopefully. I mean, I'm coming up on my 10-year vape anniversary, and I feel good. I feel great.
Yeah, I feel really good too. But
I don't get sick nearly as much as I used to when I smoke.
Mitch Zeller, one of the biggest opponents of our industry, okay? I mean, he is really a tough guy. And I've met with him a couple of times. He's really tough from the aspect of like, even though we do have the benefit there, we have to look at all the other bad stuff, right? The children and this and the marketing and all this and that's going on, the post-August 8th, but all this kind of stuff. He's really, really negative about it. Wow, we have a quote for him that we can absolutely use. And listen, I can't change the FDA. You can't change the FDA, Phil. Nobody in this industry can change the FDA. Nobody. Not the big groups, not the trade associations, not the big companies in our space. Juul probably can, but we can't. Okay, we can't change the FDA. But what we can change is local law. Because local law, you directly speak to your representative or to your senator. And when they're passing laws like 18 to 21 or taxing this product as tobacco, they're hurting public health. So at least we can train it down on a local level, and then whatever's going to happen with the FDA is going to happen. Nothing that we're going to do is going to change that. I just want to make sure everybody understands that. Again, I'm turning it political, but I shouldn't. Here's a couple more, and these are the most important ones I think feel that people really, really need to pay attention to.
All right, so the American Heart Associations, they are saying that e-cigarettes either do not contain or have lower levels of several tobacco-derived harmful and potentially harmful constituents compared with cigarettes and smokeless tobacco. In comparison with NRTs, e-cigarettes use has increased at an unprecedented rate, which presents an opportunity for harm reduction if smokers use them as a substitute for cigarettes. They're admitting harm reduction.
Very, very long sentence. Very, very complex to the average citizen eye. Okay? But again, we're taking out the piece that we want. Lower levels of tobacco-derived harmful and potentially harmful constituents, which basically means you're removing combustion. So you're removing all the harmful stuff that goes into traditional cigarettes and smokeless tobacco. And in comparison with NRT, that means that it can be used as a harm reduction tool and as a substitute to cigarettes.
Yep. So basically that whole thing says they're safer because they have less bad stuff.
Right.
Right.
You nailed it.
Thank you. The American Cancer Society say that even though e-cigarettes do not contain any tobacco, the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, classifies them as tobacco products. I wonder why that is. Research has found that e-cigarette use is likely to be significantly less harmful than smoking regular cigarettes.
The American Cancer Society is one of the biggest opponents of us. I mean, they have really, really gone after us. But all this is kind of buried into this whole, information about electronic cigarettes. It's buried, but it's there. I mean, it's there, and it's always going to be there thanks to screenshots and archives and all that stuff. It's never going to go away. And even though once again they're kind of manipulating the what they're trying to say, it's clearly what they're saying. They're better than traditional cigarettes. One of my favorite ones here coming up.
All right, so, oh boy, I love these guys. The campaign for tobacco-free kids. Under the right circumstances, e-cigarettes could benefit public health if they help significantly reduce the number of people who use combustible cigarettes. Okay, so I have an idea. Keep them out of the hands of the kids and leave them available to adults.
Yep.
Figure out a way to do that. And then finally, the Royal College of Physicians. Available data suggests that e-cigarette health risks are unlikely to exceed 5%. There's that 95% number that we keep talking about of those associated with smoked tobacco products, and may well be substantially lower than 5%. In the UK, harm reduction is recognized or is a recognized element of comprehensive tobacco control.
It must have really pained campaign tobacco-free kids to put that up there. I mean, it really must have pained. But in my opinion, I think that, and this is just my opinion, I think that all of these organizations have something good about electronic cigarettes, that when the evidence does come out and the science here does catch up and the studies do, I mean, eventually they're going to have to. I mean, although the rest of the world is waking up, eventually the United States will as well too. I think that when that evidence does come out, I think that they're going to be able to turn around and say, hold on a second, we didn't say that vaping was bad. Go here, look here on our website. We actually said that they're less harmful than traditional combustible tobacco. Kind of gives them a little safety blanket. The rest of the stuff that they spew out, the bad stuff, keep in mind, all it does is prevent adult smokers from switching, and it keeps adult smokers either smoking or trying pharmaceutical methods, which actually fund all these public health orgs that you're seeing here.
Yep.
All about the money. So I hope you enjoyed that segment. It was meant for you to have a tool. It was meant for you to, as a smoker, to be able to understand that even these groups that you hear sometimes in media bashing electronic cigarettes say the same thing as we. It's less harmful than traditional combustible tobacco. And it also gives you a tool to silence and hush some of these people that are really attacking vaping either into your personal life or on a political level.
I think it's terrific. I think you did a great job on that. I look forward to putting it up on Taste Your Juice and making that available to everybody. I'm going to print them out. I'm going to have a single sheet with all of those quotes and the sources, and I'm going to have them printed out and available for in the car. I'm going to have them in the car, and if anybody says anything negative to me about vaping, I'm going to pull one out and I'm going to hand it to them.
Fantastic.
I think it's a great tool to have.
We'll be right back. And we do appreciate all of our sponsors. Of course, they are Inikin, Joytech, Naked 100 e-liquid, Lunar Rover, 5 Pawns Signature e-liquid. Oops, I'm not supposed to do that. And of course, My Vapor Store and Inikin. We certainly appreciate them. The Vaping Advocate does provide our telephone lines, which are open tonight. We've had quite a few phone calls. Very, very surprising. 215-383-5752. Call if you have any questions or comments. But let's move on to the next segment. We do have another segment for you guys, and it's talking about technology. Technology and vaping.
We do. And by the way, can you? We need to talk to Inikin, and they need to make those spots long enough for me to properly make a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I had to improvise there. I don't want to run these 15-minute commercials. Let me pull a couple of questions from the chat. Okay, and then we're gonna get into this segment because Bill has got a couple ones lined up. I vape at about 30 to 35 Nick Salt, and with all the talk, I want to switch. Listen, I don't want you to switch because you hear me talking. I'm just posing questions as a consumer that you should be posing, not me. I'm not trying to deter you from going, using salt nicks to quit smoking. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not by any means. But I want to switch to regular nicotine level. Should I go to what nicotine level should you go to? Whatever satisfies you. Anywhere between 12 to 18. If you need a little bit more nicotine and you can handle the throat hit of the 18, go to 18. If not, go to 12 and go to a little bit more advanced system of delivery. The tanks in today's market are very, very well with 12 milligram. They're very, very satisfying in my opinion. In fact, sometimes I made this tobacco flavor. I made it in 9 milligram. So it's all what your body wants and what it desires. Is you're just gonna self titrate yourself. I hope the Demi learns how to say schnitzel. I don't know. I guess I didn't say it.
By the way, that wasn't even close. Oh, he's over there.
Another success story born from the Smoker Show. This is from ARD's Corner. She has nearly given up the 3 smokes a day. Fantastic.
Perfect. That's terrific.
Little congratulations for them as well.
The purpose of this show.
Yeah. She says that Phil sent over some liquids from Lunar and they have helped a great deal, top quality. So yeah, thank you. And thanks for Lunar to be able to do that. And all of our sponsors, they're fantastic with that. They every time that we reach out to them for products or we can send them out, they're top notch. And I just sent a chroma kit the other day with some Lunar Rover tobacco and the strawberry mojito, which is a really good flavor, to a young lady up in Illinois. She's one of my wife's friends and she lives in like a rural Illinois, no vape shops or whatever. And can't wait till she gets it and see.
And by the way, if anybody has those stories and they want to share them, maybe they don't want to share them in the chat, maybe they don't want to share them in a phone call, send them to me. Send them to me in an email because on the page, the Smoker Show page, we do have the Smoker Show feedback. This is from all of the people who have written me, saying sharing some success stories or some good things about the I love that little photo right there, about the Smoker Show. So feel free to share those because we love sharing them with everybody else.
I'm very impressed that you're just like you can do that now.
It's pretty good, right? Huh? Not bad.
Well, I mean, it's just you can give me a little heads up so I can put you on the big screen next time. I'm just saying, but it's pretty good. I went from 6 to 12 milligram. It helped, but seemed to lose the flavor. Is that normal? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Nicotine does enhance the flavor, so depending on the formulation, you might see a little difference. One thing that you can do, like when I went to 6 milligram, is I went to rebuildables. So it gave me the kind of same flavor as a pre-made coil, but instead of using 12 milligram. That's one thing that you can do. The other thing that you can do is bump up the wattage a little bit. Might need a little bit more heat at that 6 milligram to get the flavor. So maybe drop your coil from a 1.6 to a 0.8 and then bump up the heat to 16, 17 watts. What else would you suggest, Phil?
Those are really, really good suggestions. I mean, you have to understand too that the standard nicotine does have a taste associated with it. It's got a flavor associated with it. That's one of the other, if you want to call it a benefit of salt. Nicotine has like a peppery taste, right? So as you start to increase your nicotine level, you're also decreasing the flavor. But everything that Dimitri just said there, you can try to adjust up a little bit to get some more flavor. Think about changing your build. Now with the pre-built coils, you have a lot of choices with the pre-built coils as well. You have your standard coils. You have a lot of mesh coils that are coming out that could enhance flavor. So there's a lot of different things that you could try.
Yes, absolutely. And why drop anyway? Why do you want to drop to 6? Stay at 12, my friend. There's nothing wrong with staying at 12. When are you going to put those slides up on Taste of Juice? They have a legislator going on in Arizona, so they want to use them as well, too.
Right after this show, I'll be up late, and I'll make sure that they go up.
And 423 days smoke-free for Arizona Advocate. Congratulations.
Oh, terrific.
He emails me all the time. So
somebody did ask before, I saw in the chat, where they wanted to know the difference between PG and VG and what they do. We've talked about that a lot on the show, but I'll just go through it real quick. Sure. PG is propylene glycol. So VG is vegetable glycerin, PG is propylene glycol. And depending on how you mix those, you get a little bit of a different result. VG will give you typically more vapor, okay, but less flavor, okay? It doesn't carry flavor as well as PG does. PG is going to give you less vapor, but it's going to give you more flavor, and it also might enhance your throat hit a little bit more. It's a little bit of a harsher vape. That tends to be why I like a little bit of a higher PG, because that I like that irritation. That irritation in the form of throat hit is something that I enjoy from my vape. But in a nutshell, that's PG and VG.
By the way, I did see a question. What pod gives you the best flavor? You know, that's very, very subjective. I do want to show you. I don't know if I can, if I'm going to be able to see, if you're going to be able to see there. If you look in that cubby right there, you're going to see I have probably about 50 pod systems in that little cubby there that I've been testing out. And, you know, I can only tell you what I enjoy. The 𝗃𝗽𝗄 with a mesh coil is one of my favorite pod systems because I can use freebase and salt nicotine inside, or regular nicotine and concentrated, whatever you want to call it. The 𝗬𝗪𝗔 Flow, I've talked about this on this show again as well. It has been really, really good flavor. And I heard this new 𝗬𝗪 pod system that's come out. It's got mesh. It's not really a pod. I think, again, God, I'm going to rant.
Here we go. Here, go to your full screen so I can get my coffee and you rant.
So the new 𝗬𝗪 I heard is a very, very good pod system, but is it really a pod system? Like, what is the definition of a pod system? The 𝗬𝗪 has a coil inside. It's a tank with a regular coil inside that you fill in, and it works just like it bumps. It has a little boost into the power. Is it really a pod system, though? You know, to me, the definition of pod is a small system that is closed, that has the pod, that has the liquid already pre-filled inside. To me, that is a pod system. Everything else is more of an AIO type or a pod tank system, like the Beep or these other products. All right, if you're going to put a coil inside, is it? A regular size coil inside, is it really a pod system? I don't necessarily think it's a pod system. I think it's more of like a starter kit or anything like that. If you want to use it like that, okay, that's fine. But don't define it because it confuses a lot of people in the market, and that's a big problem. But those are some of my favorite ones that I use. This 𝗬𝗪𝗔 Flow has a really, really good flavor, and the 𝗃𝗽𝗄 has really good flavor as well too.
I agree. I agree. I would even so when it comes to like pod systems, I also agree with Dimitri. In my opinion, a pod system is when you take the pod and you throw it away, out goes the coil with it, right? So if you can replace the coil in a pod, to me that's just a different shaped tank, right?
Yeah.
But I tend to like or use pods that still satisfy me at a 12 milligram, and there's not a lot of them. They kind of get there, but they don't sometimes really fully do it. I can tell you that the EQ set to high. I haven't even tried the S yet. I'm looking forward to it.
Same thing.
And
I got it right here. Vape's just the same. It just has an extra wattage setting.
Oh, okay. And the DV. The DV is very, very powerful for its size.
Yeah.
So I do tend to like, if I'm going to go small.
They have the same coil though, Phil, right?
It's just
same coil.
But if I am going to go small, I want to go small and still be satisfied as if I was vaping a bigger device.
That's what I'm taking to the legislature tomorrow. I'm going to take some mods too, because I always like to take mods and show them because they think that vaping is Juul. And I'm like, no, our stores, the majority of what they sell is this. And a kid's not going to go inside and drop $80 on this and then, $25 on a 60 ml bottle and two 18650s for $24. They're not going to do that. So I'm going to take some of that. But what I'm going to be using, the EQS is what I'm going to be using tomorrow. All right. We're running out of time, Phil. So technology. Technology, right? The evolution of vaping. And I did see a good comment that it's a modern day Cardo for the new 𝗬𝗪. I agree with you. Thanks so much. That's a very good definition. It's a modern day Cardo is what it's not a pod system. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about ultrasonic, right?
Yes, we are.
Ultrasonic technology. And where we came, originally back in 2007, 2008, all the devices coming out of China, the coils inside were nichrome. That's all they were using. It's just this simple nichrome wire with some silica wick inside. If you go back in the last episode that I was on, you'll see I showed the ViviNova and stuff like that. So, the evolution has come with wires and wicking material and different types of metals and different types of wicking material, anywhere from silica to cotton to wood pulp to ceramic to ultrasonic. Now, you took a look at this technology, Phil, we both saw it for the first time a couple of years ago when they were discussing it, or maybe last year. So I want to get your thoughts first on their initial device and explain to people what exactly ultrasonic vaping is.
All right. So I have their initial device right here, and I don't really have a pod in it. I kind of do because I destroyed it so I could show you guys what happens in there. I think the way I described it was that it wasn't ready for prime time yet. But even though I did that, I can still appreciate the fact that they tried it, they attempted it, they put it on the market. It was something different. It was something new. It was something innovative. And I appreciate that. And what I said was, you got to understand that this is ultrasonic vaping on day one. On day one, look at how far we've come with wick and wire, vaping since day one, right? So this technology, here's the first release. Here it is. It's day one. It can only get better. It could only get better. My experience was the biggest problem was delay. It was heat up time. There was way too much ramp up time to make it satisfying and quick, and to get your hit right away. So in that initial review, that was my biggest problem with the technology.
And now they've transformed it into a pod system. We got some prototypes. So these have not been released yet into the market, but the 𝗧𝗵, as they call it, is a pod system that utilizes the same type of technology. So I'm just going to do a quick, just kind of show you what goes inside the box here, and then Phil, we're going to talk a little bit more about the technology, and we're actually going to show you. We're going to show you how this technology vaporizes, right?
We can do that. This is working now.
So yeah.
I'll also tell the story of where I am on the review with this thing.
Okay, so here's the box that comes in. It's very, very difficult to open. There's the device itself. You're going to see inside what's included is the device, and then this is the pod that goes in it. And then if you look on the bottom of the box, here you have a little bit of documentation, and inside here, the books. You have a little, just your basic, the orange does not really match with the blue, I guess. But anyway, a little basic USB cable, a little warranty card, and that's it. And one of the things that I like about this system, and I wish I could use it, is the filling system. It fills from the top. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Beep that's coming out now, but it fills from the top. The pod comes out. You're going to see down here, there's your contacts. Very, very simple stuff. 5-click on, 5-click off. And you just position the pod inside with a little magnets, and then you vape from the top. So that's pretty much all that you're going to get inside the kit. And I was really, really excited to try this. And as soon as I got it, I filled it up, and 3 vapes later, it died. The pod was just dead on arrival.
Let me jump in here and give you my experience with the device and what has transpired since I got it. Okay, when I first got it, I loaded it up with e-liquid, I let it sit, and I vaped it. And here's what I said when I vaped it for the first time. I said, you know what? They did it. They have a viable ultrasonic pod device out on the market. They did it. That was my feelings on the first vape. Now, 15 minutes into it, the pod died. Okay. 15 minutes or 30 minutes into the second pod, that pod died. Then I get the email from the company saying, don't do the review. Okay. It's not ready yet.
Yeah.
Well, why are you sending it out to reviewers if it's not ready yet? Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I made sure that I asked, okay, is it available to the public right now the way it is? And they said no. And I went online and I checked, and sure enough, it was in a coming soon.
I can appreciate that.
Right. So basically what I was saying was, I'm going to review it now if it is available to the public, right? But it wasn't. All right. So now I get the second one, and I'm having really, really mixed, and I'm like, I'm going to do the review. It's not going to be very good. But again, I got another email. Don't review the second unit we sent you. It's not ready yet. And they said the same thing. It's still not available to the public. What my experience has been with this so far is, I call it the vape light. Everything on it is light. The vapor is light. The flavor is light. The temperature is very, very cool. Everything is light except for battery life. This thing sucks batteries dry. When I was using it, when I did finally get a pod that was somewhat consistent, 3.5 to 4 hours max on the battery. Okay, and I think it has 1,000 milliamp hour in it, right? Am I right? Yeah. So it's a power hungry technology. It really, really is. So I still think that there's a lot of room for improvement there. But when I look at the device, I think to myself, what is the benefit? Yeah. Why am I buying this device over another device? Why am I looking at this technology over another technology? Is it better flavor? No, it's not. Is it better performance, better speed, better heat up time? No, it's not. Definitely is it more vapor? No, it's not. Is it more battery life? No, it's not. So I have to ask myself, why? Now, if there are some health benefits, to a smaller particle size in the vape itself, okay, I'll say, well, that's a positive, but for that, I need some scientific proof and some scientific data before I can get behind that. But as of right now, today, it's just kind of something cool that doesn't work as good as everything else that's on the market.
I think that's been my experience with it as well too. And one of the things that when if we're talking about conversion tools, okay, because this is the smoker show, what a smoker wants is an instant hit. It's crucial to have an instant hit, right? As soon as you pull on that cigarette, it never fails. You don't have to prime it. You don't have to do anything to it. As soon as you pull on that cigarette, you're going to get that hit. And a lot of these systems fail to do that. You need to puff on them a couple of times. Like the 𝗬𝗏 S8, I love that little thing, but I got to take a couple primer puffs. I'm a vapor. I know how to do it. A smoker does not. This fails to give me that hit. I have to work at it to get it, right? I'm going to get one good hit probably in 5 puffs. A smoker does not have 5 attempts to get a good nicotine hit in him. And like you said, it's a little bit of weak, a little bit of an anemic vape, cooler vape because of the ultrasonic technology. And when you guys see what Phil has prepared for you, you're going to understand how the technology works. And this is just this is not a review by any means. It's just teaching you something new, teaching you about this technology that's called ultrasonic. So if you're ready, Phil.
Yeah, I wanted to just unscrew this and kind of show what I did here, but I'm having a hard time. So just keep talking and let me get to this.
To me, you're gonna see if I take ultrasonic and dry hits. Yeah, that's another thing. It's not, you don't get dry hits, but you get no hits. That's the difference. And you can see here, I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit. Okay, I'm just gonna let it cool down because it does get warm. I'm gonna let this cool down. I'm just gonna hit the button and just take one puff. Right, just one puff. And you can see it's just an anemic vape. Now, if I puff on it a couple of times, now it's much better. That action that you have to work at it is definitely not something that you can recommend, not only to a smoker, but I think even vapors, you want that instant gratification as soon as you pick up the device. And that's where it's lacking. That's where this technology is lacking. They have to figure out a way of somewhere to go boom, boom, meaning that you give you a little pump at the beginning and then come down to that normal level that you want to vape.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's there's just, I don't see any benefits to the technology yet. Yeah. Maybe in the future, yes. Maybe, if we can get more out of it, if we could get a cleaner, purer flavor, but as much flavor as we get from the current tech, then maybe we have something a little bit better.
It does lack on flavor as well too.
So I'm going to go ahead and turn my light on here.
Okay, let's turn your light on.
All right, and let's see what we got. And if I push this button here, that should switch to the close-up cam. And first of all, let me show you what and I'm looking at the why is that so big?
Right, you're very, very zoomed in. There we go.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look in there. But this is what the pod looked like when I first got to it. Mm-hmm. That's what the pod looks like right there. And then I got to it, and now this is what it looks like here. Okay, so it's just bits and pieces and parts that you can see. But anyway, if we take a look at the coil itself, right? Here's the coil, and I hope it focuses. And it's really not a coil, okay? It's just something that vibrates very, very fast, okay? Mm-hmm. And this right here, the little bit of electronics that you see sit underneath this right here, okay? And we screw this on. And this is what vibrates the top part. I don't know. I don't know the exact materials that are being used here, mm-hmm. but I should be able to screw this on and pop this back in and have it work. And hopefully it will. Can you see that okay?
Yep, looks good.
Okay. Now, by the way, there is a little piece of like a cotton or a cloth material that sits right on top of what you're seeing right here. Okay, but this is basically the surface that vibrates. And if I turn this on, hopefully we'll get some vapor, and we do. Okay, and if I put a drop of vapor on there, and I know the
liquid, a drop of liquid, not vapor.
Yeah, a drop of liquid on here. I know the resolution isn't that good, but what you should see is the e-liquid dance around a bunch, right?
Yeah.
And then it's going to evaporate. All right, so I got some e-liquid in there, and let's see what happens.
Look at that.
Look at that. Isn't that cool?
That's pretty cool.
Right? So, I mean, that's exactly how it does it. And if I go back to my camera now, because I did a little bit more research on this. So this device vibrates. Their initial devices vibrated at 2.5 megahertz. Okay, this new device, and I got to turn this light off. I apologize. The new device vibrates at 3 megahertz. Okay, so they've increased the frequency of it. And then I looked at ultrasonic cleaners. Ultrasonic cleaners vibrate between 20 and 40 kilohertz. Okay, so that would be 20,000 times per second that an ultrasonic cleaner vibrates at. This device vibrates at 3 million vibrations per second. Okay, so that's the technology, and it's a very cool technology. It's a very clean technology, as you can see in there, because you don't have a lot of wick and wire in there. Maybe there's less stuff to gunk up, but I still don't think it's there. It's not giving me the same satisfaction that I get from a more traditional product.
I totally agree, and that's the reason why we wanted to bring it up. It's just that innovation keeps moving, and unfortunately here in the United States, not so much. But innovation does keep moving. Do I dream of a day, maybe 10 years from now, that we're going to be, vaporizing with lasers? Yeah, I mean, I do dream of that, or some kind of a pump system that pumps it directly onto a coil. As soon as you hit that button and you get that pure flavor with literally no wicking material. Yeah, I do dream of that. And I do commend this company for attempting that and trying to do that and putting all the R&D behind something that could be revolutionary. It's just not there yet.
Right, and I feel the same way. I think they are to be commended for leading the technology here, but it's just not there yet. And yes, to Phil, that's a piezoelectric transducer underneath there, vibrating extremely fast, 3 million times per second, which is heating up the liquid. And you can see it bouncing around in there.
The reason why we brought this up today is because we wanted to do a little retro segment as well, too, where we used to be, where we used to vape back in the day. And I don't know what you have ready for us, Phil. But while you're doing that, I do want to answer a couple questions from the chat. Do you think there'd be any further health benefits by introducing a filter for particle sizes? I know if I put cotton over a drip tip, it collects coloring from the liquids. That's generally not from the vapor. It's generally spit back that comes up into the filter, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. I don't think that you could put anything that would collect anything off the vapor finer than what we have now. I mean, putting some kind of a filter that would filter it even more, I don't think there'd be any benefit to that. As it stands, it's at least 95% less harmful. What are we going to make it? 95.1% less harmful? I don't think it's going to change anything. And I'm not saying that to be funny or anything like that. I'm just making a purely uneducated guess. Beth, what nic strength would you recommend to a smoker who smokes 2 packs of Marlboro 72 silvers a day? If you're going to go regular nicotine, I would suggest 18 milligram for sure, Phil, right? Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of cigarettes. And if you're going to go salt nicotine with something smaller, anything above 40, between 40 and 50, I think you should be okay for them to get started, at least for the beginning.
Tracy, for me personally, and it's just me wondering how much of those ceramic plates can take without flaking or chipping. That is a concern. That's a concern that I had. That's a concern that I got when I did the first 𝗀𝗃 review. And then I got another email from somebody saying that the plate could crack, and underneath that plate are some harmful components. Okay, so I hear you.
Yeah, it's definitely a concern, and we're hoping, like Juul did, because Juul did a lot of scientific testing before they released their product. We're hoping that these companies will do some scientific testing on and be able to answer those questions. We can't. Definitely, we can't. But it's definitely a concern. It's a concern even with today's market, with the nichrome wires and the nickel wires and everything that's out there. There's always concerns out there. But it shouldn't be something that's going to deter a smoker from trying the product. There's no absolutely way that in any given setup today that it's going to be more harmful than a cigarette. And that's the key what we want you to take out of the Smoker Show, right? That's the key. Don't let everything that you hear, there's metal particles in the vapor. Yeah, there are. I've seen them. I mean, I've seen them in tests. I can't actually see the metal particles that are in vapor. But what is the amount that's coming out of it? It's minimal. And it's nothing to cause concern. Scientifically proven, it's minimal. Okay, so just because you hear there's metal particles in the vapor doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be bad for you. I mean, there's metal particles when we're walking and breathing air as well too. And when you're around field, there's gas particles around too as well. That could be potentially detrimental to your health. But anyway, what do you have? What do you have for the retro?
I didn't know that this was my responsibility too. I thought you had something ready to go.
I do.
Let me say this. Okay, now the safest way to vape is to not vape at all.
Yeah.
Does everybody understand that? Okay. Now, if you are a smoker and you want to become a vapor, that's fantastic. If you don't smoke and you don't vape, continue to do neither. That's best. All right. So we're going retro, huh?
Yeah, let's go retro.
I have this.
And what is that, sir?
It's a Cartomizer.
That is a Cartomizer. And what is the purpose of the Cartomizer?
The purpose of the Cartomizer, really, this is what replaced atomizers and cartridges. Okay, this was the next evolution in vaping. It really is. If you think about the Cartomizer, this is what really gave birth to all of the coils that we have today. And when I say coils, I'm not talking just about the wrapped coil, okay? I'm talking about the coils that you unscrew from your atomizer and you screw in a new coil, okay? This is where it started, folks. It really did start. And it didn't necessarily start with this. Where it started was when I punched a hole into this, or I put a slot into this, and then I took this and I put it in a tank, which was called a Carto tank, and the e-liquid magically seeped in from the tank into the Cartomizer. This is really like every tank that you see today was given birth by the Carto tank.
You know, what's funny about the Cartomizer is it's a very, very simple concept. It's basically a holding tank, even without punching it, because before punching it, you had to fill it. You had to fill it by yourself. Where first it came pre-filled, then it came empty, and you put your own liquid inside. And it's basically a holding tank. It has a filler inside, a filler material that you put some drops of e-liquid, and it kind of holds that liquid there. And as you're hitting the button and it draws it down to the coil, it vaporizes, and you can only vape on it for about 30 minutes or maybe less, and then you have to fill it again. And you know what was interesting? You know, when I was showing you this, I don't know if this is my little box from back in the day.
Box.
Because the Cartomizer had to have you wanted to get maximum, capacity out of it. They only hold about 1 ml of liquid, on a good day. So basically every 3 or 4 drops that you put into that filler, you had to have it be absorbed into the Cartomizer.
So now imagine trying to, so you had to fill this thing, just like Dimitri's talking about, right? And you had to wait. Why
don't you pop up that and show that filler? Can you pop out that? Can you show that filler that's inside? Can you?
I wish I had more time. I would have ripped one of these apart for you guys.
That's okay.
But yeah, you can see here the filler material that's in there. Come on, focus. This camera's doing a really lousy job with focusing. I apologize, guys.
But at least it's not my technical problem.
No, it's definitely not. I think it's a lack of lighting here.
Yeah.
I think if I put the light back, let me try to get the light back on.
Sure, why don't you do that?
Let me do that. All right, here comes the light. The light is on, and now we'll take a look and see if it focuses.
It's better. Yeah, it's much better. So you see there, it's just a little cotton material that's around the coil that sits in the middle, and you basically just put some drops around there and just wait for it to go down.
Yep.
Very simple concept. Go ahead and do it.
Let's see how long. Now this is a 70-30. Okay, so there was no such thing as a 70-30.
Right.
These guys were around. So I'm just going to put 1 drop, and let's see how long it takes to soak in there. There's 1 drop.
Oh, boy.
Okay. There it goes. It's going. All right, it's in there. So imagine how long. And this is what we did, folks. This is what we did.
Yeah.
We dropped e-liquid into here until it fully soaked up, right?
Yep.
And you can see there, it's actually bubbling at the top. And I'm waiting for it to soak in there.
Yeah, and if you do wait, it will go down eventually. And the funny part is that we had to come up with techniques. Huh?
There we go. Yeah, you can still see it. It's bubbling. It's not soaking in.
Yeah, it will. I mean, eventually it will go down. Eventually, but we don't have that much time because it's only a 2-hour show.
Oh, and by the way, this is the mouthpiece that came with it right here.
Yeah. Yeah, and the reason why I'm saying that was we had to come up with techniques, and one of the techniques that Phil had was called the thermometer technique, meaning that you'd put 2 or 3 drops inside the cartomizer, and then you just shake it like a thermometer, right?
Yeah, you shake it like a Polaroid picture a little bit.
Yeah. Why don't you switch to your regular camera so we can see you too?
Yeah.
Because I'm talking to a table now.
Then of course there was the Terran spin.
Right. So I have that here. Watch. I have this here. So I had a little pouch, right? So I take the cartomizer and I would drop the cartomizer in there after I put a few drops. And you need a little bit of weight. So I had a penny. You see it. It's still in my box. I had a penny, and I would put the penny inside as well too, which would go down in the bottom of the baggie to give it a little bit more weight. And then basically I would take these little 2 strings, and then I would do this.
What's this? Woo woo.
And all that did is it forced the e-liquid to go down into the cartomizer. And I take the cartomizer out, put a few more drops, and then just tear and spin again. So I know it's funny. It sounds funny now, right? It's kind of like me telling my daughter, hey, why don't you use a rotary phone? Or why don't you put a cassette inside the cassette player? And she looks at me like I'm from a foreign planet. But we have come a long way from technology from where we were at the tear and spin and where we are now.
You know what I find interesting here is a couple things. Number one, the filler material in here is just absolutely laughing at this e-liquid. It's not so. It's just there's a pool of e-liquid on top of the filler material right now, and it's actually not soaking in. Yeah, it's gone down a little bit now.
It will eventually. It will. I mean, probably when
now this is even more interesting, right? Because now it's actually coming out the bottom. It's not soaking in. It's just
you got some in the hole. Maybe that's why it's coming
out the bottom. So. Yeah, I mean,
you had to do it like a beer pour method, meaning that you had to put the liquids to the sides of the cartomizer.
Right, exactly right. Do you know that when I was just using Cartos, do you know what I researched?
What?
A blood separator, a centrifuge, right?
Really?
I was literally going to buy one of those to help me fill my Cartos. How about that, huh?
You know, one of the things I do want people to know, and for those of you that know me from back in the day, you would know I never did Cartos. I was just never a Carto guy. Never used a Carto tank in my life. Well, I'm not going to say my life. I did some reviews on him, and I tried to play around with him. It's just, it wasn't me. It was too fiddly for me. And I am a flavor guy. I want flavor when I vape. That's the most important part for me. So I always dripped. But at the time, we didn't have these beautiful drippers and these RDAs and all that. So I found something very, very special today. I found the 306 atomizer.
Hey.
This is the 306 atomizer. This is how it came. And I'm going to put it on my device now. And I'll pop it open and show you up close what it looks like. Okay? Let me move to this camera here. All right. You see that? It looks like a little cigarette, Phil, doesn't it? It looks like a little cigarette. But you have to take off this little cover. This is basically a cover for the atomizer. And look at that. It's just basically a coil. That's all it is. You see?
If you notice, there's a little like a triangle that goes over the coil, and that's called the bridge.
Yeah.
Okay. And the bridge almost had like a Brillo consistency, and the idea, the goal of the bridge was that it was supposed to suck the e-liquid out of your cartridge and direct it to the coil.
Correct. But we wanted better flavor, so what we came up with is these drip tips. This is a 306 drip tip that you can put directly over this.
That's right.
And then you just drip a couple of drops down into that hole, and then you just get fantastic flavor. And trust me, folks, you got fantastic flavor out of this thing. And this is how we vape. I would literally walked around with this just like that on a device. Yep. And a bottle of liquid in my hand. And 2-3 drops, because that's all you can put inside it, was going to leak. 2-3 drops would give me a couple of puffs, and then I would have to drip again. So we have come such a long way, Phil. There's so many products on the market today if you're a smoker. We thought this would be a little bit fun to show you. And guess what? I'm just going to vape it. I'm going to put some drops in here and vape it.
You going to vape that?
Well, it's not reading the resistance. Let's see what resistance is. 1.58. Ooh, that's low resistance for the time.
That is low. That is very low.
This is a Cisco 306.
Let me see what this Carto is here.
This is a Cisco 306. So
do you have any 357s lying around?
I sure do. I always got one, buddy. I always got one.
Look at the resistance here on this Cartomizer. Can you see that? You probably can't even read it. It's 2.19 ohms. 2.19 ohms.
All right, Phil, I'm going to do it.
Go ahead, do it. Go ahead.
Look at that. This is what we had to do.
I remember you vaping like that. I will say this.
You laughed at me all the time.
I know Dimitri and I, for how similar we are, we started vaping completely different.
Yeah.
He was always dripping, and I always had a carto tank. Always
like that. But that's just preference. You know, that's the beauty about vaping is that you can find something that you like. And I absolutely love this flavor. I probably over drip now. I put 8 drips. I just want to get it nice and saturated. I'm gonna vape it. I'm gonna try it.
Good.
Ready?
Yeah, sure.
Boy, it's such a tight draw.
I bet. Well, don't forget too that your device has to work with that. It has to allow air to the 510.
Oh, that was a dry hit. I had it on 20 watts.
You had it on 20 watts?
Let me cut it down to
20 watts didn't exist back then.
That was horrible. Oh, my God. Such a bad dry hit. I'm going to try it again. All right. 9 watts. 9 watts. Oh, so much better. Listen, very cigarette-like, very tight draw. And, man, I'm telling you, the flavor is great. I mean, I could use this today and still be satisfied. I'd be pissed that I have to drop 2 or 3 drops every second puff. But I'm telling you what, we have come a long way, folks. We really have.
This is why I'm really wanting to get this Cartomizer full, because I would just love to vape it. I saw somebody Face Meat wrote turkey bacon down there. Now, you've either been with me for a very, very long time, or that was just random. But I think he's talking about the Bogue Gate.
Yeah, that was the good old days. But anyway, yeah, just a little segment, just to have some fun. And are you gonna vape that Cartomizer?
I'm waiting for it to fill.
Spin it, baby.
Spin
it, baby. What are you doing? Do a little thermometer action. There you go. There you go.
I don't have the little condom sack that you have there. Hold on. It's the thermometer. It's the thermometer.
Man, I tell you what, this brings back the good old days.
What fun we had, huh? But it is one of the reasons why I always say, if today, in today's day and age, if you can't find something that satisfies you and you can get off of smoking with, then you're not trying hard enough, or you just don't want to quit, okay? Because, I mean, this stuff is just light years ahead of where we were before.
And that's exactly the reason why we're doing it. Now you can take a little pod like this, you pop it in there like that. You ain't got to spin anything. You're just taking, you're putting your mouth in vape. So the reason why we're showing you this is that if we can do it in 2010 like this, meaning look how much effort Phil has put in just right now, just to feel this Cartomizer. If we can do it and we can quit smoking, by golly, if you're ready to quit, there's absolutely no reason for you not to try vaping. That's all we're saying. So
Steven is saying so many good things, right? The power of Christ compels you, although that's more like this. This is definitely the thermometer, okay? What else? Well, Troy, I actually used to do the juice reviews with 2 different things. I started with a Bogue Carto per flavor, right? That's the way I started. And then I went to the HH357s to do liquid reviews. If I bring back liquid reviews, they are all going to be in either a Zenith or a Zlide. I can tell you that because that's really how I vape now, and that's how I'll be able to best understand the flavor and the throat hit, right? Okay, I think it's full. I'm even going to go with the old mouthpiece, the retro mouthpiece.
I can't wait to see you to vape that. And we're taking some questions. The phone lines are open. We got about 10 more minutes left. If you got any questions, call in, and we'll try to answer them all for you. Or if you have any questions in the chat, is there a new 18mm MTL coming out? I don't know. I really don't know. I hope. I like 18mm. Not enough of them in the market today, that's for sure. But I don't know to answer that. I don't feel if there's a new one coming. I don't know. Don't know. So much new stuff coming out. The August 8th date didn't do anything. Trust me.
What should I even set the wattage to on 2.2?
7 watts?
Let me go to 10 watts.
Ooh.
Oh, no, wait. If I'm going to vape this, I'm going to vape it right. Here we go.
Oh, you're going to put it? Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Is it charged up?
Yeah, I think I got a little bit of battery left on it.
Okay, let's try it.
All right, so, its maximum is 12.7 watts. So I'm going to dial this down. We'll go with 9 watts. Does anybody know what this is in the chat?
That is a Darwin.
This is as retro as we can get right here. All right. Oh, I could put it on a 𝗺𝗡𝗨 too. All right, here we go. Holy shit, that's tight.
It's tight, isn't it?
Oh my God.
And there's a question: how close is it to a cigarette using a Cardo? There's a question in the chat.
It's a good question, because I think as vapors, we forget every now and then. It's good to do something like this. All right. I mean, I hate to do this, but I have my pack of stunt cigarettes over here. The pack of cigarettes that I bought to do the most important vape trick, right? Video. And if you, I don't want to, but if you suck on that, you will remember how tight of a draw that a cigarette smoker is used to, right? And it's much, much different from what we're using nowadays.
Is it good? You like it?
Yeah, it is good. Still to this day.
You know, I'll never forget when I first watching your videos when we first started to talk, and I would always notice the way that you vape. And you put that tip to the side of your mouth like that, right there, and then out of your nose.
This is every bit as good of a vape.
Yeah.
As like what we have today. It's just getting the liquid and the life of it and everything. I mean, I'm only going to get maybe if I vape this solid, maybe 10 minutes out of it before I got to fill it up again.
Yeah. That's fantastic. All right, we got a telephone call. Phil, I'm going to bring it in. 949. You're on the air with Phil and Demi. What's up?
It's dry already.
Demi and Phil.
Hey.
How you doing, guys?
Wonderful. Who's this?
This is Face Me. This is the guy with the turkey bacon comment.
Hey, Face Me. What's up, brother?
How you doing?
Hey, you gave us a little bit of a teaser with the DIY project, possibly.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate any more on that? Or are you kind of
Phil, I don't know what can you say. Well,
we're going to be doing something. It's going to have to do with DIY. And that's what we can say.
Well, what we can say, I can tell you what we can say, that this is going to be geared towards converting, meaning converting smokers. And it's a way of assisting DIYers be able to create more options for friends or family or even, just a random strange smoker to be able to bring them into the community. Because what we said earlier, that there's a lot of liquids missing from the market in converting smokers. So since the DIY community is so up there, and they really are, man, I really commend the DIY community. And I think that the DIY community has converted more smokers than vape shops in the United States. Sue me, send me hate mail, call me whatever you want. I truly believe that, especially in the last couple of years. So
I can say from personal experience, I've converted at least 2 smokers, just making liquids for them and giving them starter kits. So
that's probably 2 more than what your local vape shop did this week. So and congratulations for that. I don't want to take stabs at vape shops, but it is what it is. But so that project is revolving around this. We'll have more information in New York at the Vape event, and hopefully by then we'll be able to say something a little bit more about that. But we're very excited to embrace this, and we got approached to do this, because we're known as the MTL conversion guys, and we're going to work with the DIY community to be able to do this project to draw more smokers into vaping. Okay, that's all we can say. I'm sorry. I can't say anything else.
That's awesome. Hey, one more quick question about that. Do you have any idea when us, the consumers, will know what you guys are up to?
I think we're gonna be shooting for mid-April to get this thing launched. It's gonna involve the DIY community, meaning DIY community will be able to participate in this with us. So we're kind of taking them with us, because me and Phil can't mix worth shit. I'm sorry. So we're bringing them in with us to work with us, and it's gonna be like a combination.
So like from a recipe.
Yeah, like a recipe standpoint. Yeah, like a combination of hardware and DIYers, and let's make some magic stuff out there that we can help smokers convert.
Yeah, we're actually going to have we're gonna have some meetings on what we're going to be doing when we go to the New York show. So hopefully, when we get back from the New York show, we're going to be able to talk a whole lot more about it.
Yeah.
And by the way, since I have been using and fiddling with this Cardo, I have liquid on my hands, liquid on the devices, liquid on the table, and there's a whole bunch of liquid in my mouth too.
Yeah, absolutely.
The question everyone wants to know is, does that liquid taste like turkey bacon or not?
It doesn't taste like turkey bacon. I don't think this is a Bogue. I think this is a old Smoke Tech Cardo.
That's from the good batch.
Oh, okay.
Not the bad batch. Thanks, man. I appreciate you calling in, man.
All right,
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.
Keep it real.
Appreciate
Thank you. Appreciate it. Keep on vaping. All right. I should bring on DIY. Wayne, I think that's Wayne Walker. They're talking about a great guy. And maybe in the future we will. Maybe in the future we will bring a DIYer on and talk about it. Maybe when we launch this project, we'll bring some people on and talk about it.
Well, I'm sure we're going to be talking about it a whole lot more. I'm gonna destroy your name. Ashborn, maybe? I don't know.
Ask Bjorn. Bjorn. It's like Bjorn. It's a Swedish.
Okay,
Swedish name.
Bjorn, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. No, don't worry about the spam. But I'm actually thinking about doing something very, very interesting there, because I'm pretty sure I have one of those RTAs. And what I was thinking about doing is finally doing a review on that, because people have been asking me to do a review on that and compare it side by side with another high end like the 𝗃𝗽𝗏 Light, and then compare it with an Aries and see how they do side by side.
Yeah. A question, can you put different mouthpieces on the Zenith tank? Yes, you can put any 510 on there, but keep in mind that the Zenith tank has a neck. So as you're going to see here, you do have a neck here on the bottom, so your drip tips need to be kind of in that same shape to sit there nicely and look nicely, which is something that we bypass with these slides. So if you have a flat mouthpiece, there's a lot of people out there that are really crazy about their drip tips, then I would suggest you get this slide where you can put any drip tip that you want on top. It does not have the neck. The Zenith has a neck because it does control the liquid flow inside as you turn it. That whole neck holds the shaft inside that closes when you open up the tank to fill, and it closes the liquid ports. But you can put any 510 on there as long as it kind of matches.
By the way, I just showed this this version. You see what that is, Dave?
Yeah, that's the Italian version.
That's the Italian version.
Mm-hmm.
We actually had to do a redesign of the tank because of the regulations in Italy.
Yeah,
it had to be even more childproof than it was.
Bunch of mafia people that are trying to take advantage. But anyway, Carla, I forgot my Italian. Parla italiano, 𝗃𝗽𝗏 That's my Italian. You like that? It's not actually Italian. It's like Greek cuss words that sound like Italian. That's what it is. Anyway, I don't see any more questions in the chat. The Dwarf, I've heard a lot of good stuff, but then I heard a lot of hype about the Dwarf MTL. I don't have it personally. I don't think you have the Dwarf?
Yeah, that's the one I was just talking about. That I would. That's the one I was thinking about doing the review on it, and then do a side by side. I don't do a whole lot of side by sides anymore, but I think they're interesting.
Yeah. All right, and listen. Again, what is the purpose of the Smoker Show, guys? What is the? And I appreciate all the vapors that hang out with us and get the information, or just hang out and help other people. I really do appreciate it. Our purpose is to get good information out there to the smokers so they can try vaping. So whatever way that is, whatever way, look behind me, all right? Whatever way you're going to use the vape, whether it's a pod system, a Carto pod, a Carto tank, a Zenith kit, a Zelos kit, a 𝗃𝗏 kit, a mechanical mod, or a baby beast, whatever way you're going to vape, that's the right way. The way that helps you quit smoking, that is the right way. There is no right or wrong. There is no perfect device. There is no best system, setup, tank, device. Like the guy called earlier, maybe he saw somewhere people talking about DNA devices and like, maybe I need a DNA device to completely quit smoking. No, you don't. You don't. All you need to have the desire and find what is satisfying to you. And that's what the Smoker Show is all about.
Absolutely. Hey, do you remember what they used to call this, what they said it looked like?
Thermometer?
No, a tire gauge, remember?
A tire gauge. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, you know what?
What? Yeah, that's that new one. I can't
wait.
Right?
Kind of, right?
Mine did not come. It got caught in the in the customs, or I don't know. It never came. It sucks.
This thing is massive. It is so big. So for those of you who are curious, this is called the Enovop. This is something that I've been covering at vape shows for what? I don't know, like 3 years now.
Yeah,
I know. I saw the first one. Well, they finally have it out, and it's
90 seconds.
Go ahead.
It's going to be out, and the goal of this device, and I'm not sure if I agree with it. I don't know. I know it's even hard for me to vape because it's so loose. Even at its tightest setting, it's so loose. But the goal of this device is interesting because it has 2 pods in it. Can you see that? And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to fill one. Of course, you could do flavor mixing, but you're supposed to fill 1 pod with a 0 milligram and 1 pod with a high milligram.
Yeah.
And then the device itself will slowly wean you off of nicotine.
Yeah, I like the concept. I really do. I just don't see it practical. But don't give away. That's going to be in a future Smoker Show. If you're going to, just blow your load all right now. I mean, we're going to do it in the next one.
Sorry. All right. Well, that was a teaser. How about that? A teaser.
Do you see IQOS coming to the States? Yes, absolutely. IQOS is coming to the States. They got a PMTA filed with the FDA, and they will be approved maybe tomorrow, maybe a week from now, maybe 6 months from now. But it's definitely coming. It's since you brought it up, let me tell you, I was in Greece for 2 weeks on business, and I saw a lot of IQOS. In fact, Greece is the most per capita, biggest market for IQOS in Europe. I mean, literally, I have, what the irony of this is? I had this huge discussion with vapers, and you know how vapers are. Sometimes they go balls to the wall. IQOS is the devil, blah, blah, blah. Look, Dr. F said it best. We have cigarettes here, IQOS right here, and then whatever IQOS is, vaping is still 95% less harmful than IQOS, okay? So definitely removing combustion takes away some of the harm that we're getting from a cigarette. The one thing I don't trust is what's in the IQOS, because I see tar, I see all this stuff that they filed with the PMTA, and it's a tobacco company. They have not been the most honest people for the last 100 years of what they put inside their cigarettes. So I don't trust what's in this formulation of the IQOS, meaning the actual leaves that are in the heat stick that you put inside the IQOS. So not that I would suggest if you can't quit smoking not to try it. I have to be fair. If I believe in tobacco harm reduction, I have to be fair with you guys. But listen to this concept. Our industry, meaning the vaping industry, can't sell to smokers. Can't. We can't. We lost that. We lost it. But the last 2 years, we lost it. We can't sell to smokers. You know who can sell to smokers? Tobacco companies. They can sell to smokers.
Sure.
Here you have, Philip Morris, tobacco, making cigarettes for years and years and years and years, telling smokers in Greece, stop using our product because it kills you, and use the IQOS. And the smokers buy into it. 60-year-old lady told me in Athens, this is the iPhone of smoking. 60-year-old lady. And us, what have we been doing? We can't reach this audience. We cannot sell to smokers. It's mind-blowing. 6.4% increase in the last quarter in Greece for IQOS sales. Average in Europe, 3.7 increase. Yeah. Double what they're getting in Europe, they're getting in Greece. It's mind-blowing to me. But as a vapor and as a business owner, because I own businesses in Greece, I don't mind it. I don't mind them using the IQOS. Because what it does is it puts an electronic device into older people's hands.
Right.
So you get used to using an electronic device, and one day if you want to make the transition to vaping, or if you just get tired of IQOS, because IQOS does have a lot of kinks that still are kind of, detrimental. It's timed. Once you start it, you got to finish it in 4 or 5 minutes, and then it dies out, and then you have to recharge it. Those little heat sticks can get expensive. There's a lot of stuff that goes along with it. You got to clean the device because that, the heated tobacco kind of stays in the bag. You have to have a little brush to clean it up. It's a lot. Not as fiddly as vaping, but it's a lot. But to me, the way that I see the device itself, it gets people using an electronic device. And as a vapor, you should appreciate that and train your staff and you as a vapor to be able to get that person that's using the IQOS to convert into vaping if they want. If they want. It makes it easier for us to convert. So yeah, I say bring on IQOS. The only thing I ask from the government, just let me be able to compete with them. Just let me have our products on the market there, and let me go head to head with the IQOS. That's all.
Yeah, that's one of the things I said on Patrick's show when we were talking about the Juul a little bit. And congratulations to Austin. Mel said that Austin is still cigarette free, and that's fantastic. Good job. Little applause here for Austin. But we were talking about the Juul, and I said, if everybody switched to a Juul, right, all the smokers, they're getting used to a technology product. They're getting used to an electronic product, and maybe eventually they'll be like, well, what's better than the Juul? What else can I use? And then they wind up in a vape shop. I would feel much better about Juul as a company and Altria, right? If they said, you know what, we're going to fight with you to keep flavors available. We're going to fight with you to not do the 21 and over. We're going to fight with you, but instead they're just kind of rolling over and they're taking it at our expense a little bit.
It's a corporate decision, though. I can't really. If I owned Philip Morris, I'd be doing the same thing. I mean, I'm sorry. I know it sounds grim, but it's a capital. I mean, that's just how business operates. So I'm looking at my business. I want to protect my interests and my shareholders. I'm going to do anything. It's up to us as vapers and as the vaping industry to combat that. And we're doing a poor job. We're not converting. We're not fighting for it. We're not doing anything. We're just sitting back and taking it. I saw a price how expensive it is. It's about $40 and about 40 euros in Greece. But listen, they were giving them away for free. You know, IQOS goes and gives away the device for free as long as you buy the heat sticks, or they'll give a pack of heat sticks. And, you know, they're just banking on it. If we get 10 people converted, 2 of them are going to be using heat sticks. We're going to get our money back in a week, right? And I try to sell this concept to the Greek vape shops, and they look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, take an EQ and give it, exchange it for an IQOS. I'm doing this, by the way. May in Greece, there's a whole week that's an anti-smoking campaign. What I'm doing, I'm working with Inikin T20Ss with a bottle of liquid, €5. $5. An Inikin T20S, and you can switch in a pack of cigarettes or switch in your IQOS. We'll give you this for $5 to get you started with vaping. But I went to some vape shops that I work with, partners that I work with, and I was like, you want more business today? Take the EQ and give it. Give it free. Somebody buys a bottle of liquid.
Just throw it at him.
Yeah, just throw it at him. Like I just hit him right in the head. And they look at me like, it's like, they're going to get it for free. I'm not going to make any money. Well, if you're thinking like, look at the tobacco companies, what they're doing. This wholesale costs $13, $14. Okay? So if you give away 10 of these, you got a $130 investment. If you run an ad in the newspaper for a day, it's going to cost you 300, 400 euros. So it's basically marketing. You're giving this away. And if you, out of the 10 that you give away, 10, 2 of the people become vapers. They're going to become your customers. You got the money back in a week. Not to mention they're going to bring you another 10 customers because you helped them quit smoking. Are you going to give away some of these to some freebie? Somebody's going to come and say, yeah, I smoke just to get a free one. Yeah, you can't avoid that. Are you going to give something to somebody's going to dual use or not going to use it at all? Yeah, of course it's going to happen. But if you don't try, how are you going to know? How are you going to get more smokers into your shop? Look at what the tobacco companies are doing and do the same thing. Tobacco companies know how to sell to smokers, and the vaping industry does not. Period.
It's true.
I can't wait for the hate mail tomorrow. Oh my
God. I see a question up here. Almost 3 months cigarette free. Good for you, Lawrence. A little clap for Lawrence there. Good job, Lawrence.
Good job, Lawrence.
Keep it up. What's your opinion in vaping indoors with small children around? The first thing I do, if I'm in that scenario, I will ask if it's okay to vape. That's the first thing that I'm going to do, right? Now, I know that there's virtually no harm from secondhand vapor exposure, okay? And we have the study to prove that. But it's more of a courtesy thing. If I am ever indoors around other people and I don't know, I'm always going to ask first. And for if they ask me to vape outside, I will try to educate them, but I will respect what they want and I will vape outside.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, question. Will we be at NVE? No, we will not be in NVE for different reasons. Phil's in Florida busy. For me, go back on Smoke Free Radio and look at the Greatest Douchebag Award episode that I did, and you'll know why I will not be in NVE. This is not the place for it. The new tank is the 𝗧𝗨, which takes the Zenith coils. It's just another addition to the Platform Series line with a few changes, different filling method, and you can, take the glass out and stuff like that. It's called the 𝗧𝗨. It's like slide, like doing the electric slide, right. But we put a Z in front because it uses the Z coils.
That's what we did.
See what we did? That was the thing. Quick question. Almost 3 months cigarette free. What is your opinion on vaping indoors? Oh, we already covered that. Yeah, I had small children when I started vaping, and I vaped indoors. I had no reservation. I did my research, and I vaped indoors, and I had absolutely, as a parent, I made that decision, and I have absolutely no regrets or anything that would stop me otherwise, because I believe that the product and the studies that I've seen for secondhand vapor are secondhand vapor is probably less harmful than Phil's breath after eating in China duck head. For sure. Oh,
yeah, I would give you that. Yeah.
I would do a scientific study on that. What's worse, exhale the vapor or fills breath after eating spicy duck head in China.
Let me tell you something. Spicy duck heads are delicious. Okay.
Yeah, you look like you're enjoying them. You look like you're enjoying them.
Bring them on.
All right, where do you find Smoke Free Radio? Just go on YouTube and type Smoke Free Radio. You'll find it there. And let me see if I have any other questions here really quick because we already went over time.
Yeah, we see that.
I remember going to NASCAR races and getting a free carton of Winston cigarettes. Yeah, they're smart, as Warren. They're smart. The tobacco companies are smart. They'll get you hooked. You're going to buy the product. They're going to make it back tenfold for the next 20, 30 years it's going to be using.
I forgot what show that we were at, Dimitri, but Blue was right next to us. Do you remember? And they brought in 3 pallets.
Yeah.
3 pallets.
We were in France.
France, right? 3 pallets of devices that they gave away. They gave them away. And this is one of the problems. I mean, this is what we're up against, right?
Yeah.
Big tobacco that isn't even a pimple on Dimitri's ass when it comes to an investment for big tobacco, but for some of our companies, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what they're doing. They're giving the product away. I mean, it's like I always call it the printer. It's like printers, right? You buy a printer. A printer is loaded with technology. It's an amazing device, and it's also dirt cheap.
Right?
Why? Because they want to sell you the ink.
I bought a new laser printer here for work, and it was like $79. Brother, really nice one. But guess what was also $79? The drum that I had to go buy today from Office Depot to replace the other one that's in there. And listen, I understand it's a huge investment. But for a small vape shop that's struggling and you can't get new customers, it's a minimal investment to give away 10 kits. It's a minimal investment, okay? 10 kits is nothing. It's just like running an ad in a newspaper for the next week. You're going to draw some new customers in. You're going to help people quit smoking, and that's what it's all about. Just a little reminder. Where is it? That's not it.
Pull it up. Here it comes.
That's not it.
Yep.
Where is it? I know I have it here somewhere.
Right next to the other thing.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
There it is.
Here's your coupon codes from 2 of our sponsors. I don't know what that question mark there is. I think it was a picture that kind of deleted, and I guess the Wirecast is not finding it. But my Vapor Store coupon code MTL10 for 10% off all of our products, including the Beep that is coming now and these Live Tank you'll find it at my Vapor Store. MTL10%, MTL10, 10% off. And of course, Lunar Rover coupon code Smoker Show for 15% off. Get you some delicious BLK tobacco if you're in tobaccos, and some delicious strawberry mojito if you're into some flavored product as well too.
Beep. It was actually just sitting next to me. It was fully charged and it beeped 5 times. I love that.
Did it? Yeah. Fantastic. I use mine in grease all the time. I really, really enjoyed it. All right, that's all we had for the show. Let's just wrap it up, Phil. I will start with your closing thoughts, my good friend. And it was very, very good to be back, and I'm glad to be back doing the show with you. I did miss you. Everybody in Greece asked about you. Everywhere that I went, all the shops that I visited, had a really great event up in Thessaloniki with 𝗏𝗏, and a bunch of people showed up. Every one of them asked about you.
I know. I saw all the pictures. I did. You got me very, very jealous there because I really do enjoy going there with you. And then you had to go post photos of like real gyro and like good Greek food. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So yeah, I definitely miss them, and hopefully we'll see them again soon. But thanks to everybody who watched the show. Did we thank all of our sponsors yet, Dimitri?
No, I was going to do that, but you can go ahead and do it if you want to.
Well, go ahead and put it to the sponsors page up there so we can thank our sponsors
right there.
properly.
And I can wave at you too. Look at that.
Ooh. Look at that. Of course. Of course, Inikin and Lunar Rover. I know the Lunar Rover guys. They're right here in the chat with us again, answering questions and helping people out, and I really appreciate that. MVS My Vapor Store. And again, Lunar Rover and MVS, they both have the coupon codes that Dimitri showed you before. Naked 100, 5 Pawns, and Joytech. We really do thank our sponsors, and we do ask you to thank our sponsors by supporting them. Sometimes it feels good to support companies like this who actually care about conversions. And I had a whole bunch of stuff here. I just don't know where it is from Naked 100, their anti-childish vaping campaign that they have going on.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know where that is right now. We'll do it on the next show.
Okay.
But thank you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. I hope that what they are saying segment proves valuable. And as soon as the show goes off the air tonight, I'm going to get on the computer behind me and make sure that those slides are available. I'll also put them all in a single sheet for you too, should you want all of that information in a single sheet. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate the support that we're getting from everybody on the show. And we ask you to continue to bring smokers over here and ask questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question. We all had to start somewhere. So thanks, guys. Dimitri?
Absolutely. And I might be visiting my vapor store next week. I don't know. I'm trying to plan it out where I can get up there with George and visit him. I might shoot some video on show on the next Smoker Show. We really appreciate their sponsorship. We've got a really good blend of retail, hardware manufacturers, and e-liquid manufacturers, all kind of geared towards conversions, which was what we're all about. So you're never going to see here, 0.36 milligram nicotine e-liquid being a sponsor on the Smoker. As much as I'd like to take the money, I cannot do a Smoker Show with non-converting products. So we really appreciate it. So if I do go up there, I will ask him if I can shoot some video, and maybe I'll show it to you here on the next Smoker Show.
Oh, by the way, on the coupon codes, okay, I've been saying this. We are working on getting some additional coupon codes for the show. So hopefully that's coming. We also got kind of replenished with some of our stock, and we have some more hardware coming. And that stuff is for you guys. Bring smokers to the show. Get smokers involved. Get them to ask questions. We're looking out for you guys, and we want to get product in your hands. Okay, so keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. This is not Team Free Shit show. Okay, but we have good product to give to smokers, and we want to get it out there.
Absolutely. We gotta go. I gotta be in Nashville at 6 o'clock tomorrow in the morning.
AM?
Well, I have to leave from here at 6. It's a 2-hour drive.
Oh, okay. Well, that's terrible.
Yeah, I know, right? But you gotta do what you gotta do. Well, anyway, we appreciate it. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and share it with a smoker in your life. If you didn't like it, give us a thumbs down and leave us a comment so we can laugh afterwards. All right, everybody have a wonderful rest of your week and keep fighting. And remember, vaping is not smoking. And I'm gonna leave you with something special tonight.
That's scary.
I don't have audio. There we go.